by, it looks a two-horse race. That is between Sass Appeal, who gets to the mile for the first time and has looked really progressive, winning her past 3 starts. I thought she might have given the Guineas a bit of a shake last weekend, but they've elected for the easier option here. Backed into $2.15 now. Salty Pearl is clearly the best backed runner in the race, though, in total number of bets.
The Tabern Whirlpool CUNY Stakes. The 3 clear given and away. Lathlane from the centre jumped away pretty well. No speed after Summer. Naragi began pretty well with Pillow Fight. And there's Sass Appeal also drawing across from the outside alley. Pillow Fight's going to lead Sass Appeal. Lathlane with the trail. Exit behind them. Then Naragi. Further back is After Summer. And then came Salty Pearl, who's back and 3 wide. And Seychelles is in between those horses. Heading towards Chiquita Lodge at the 1200 metres. Pillow Fight the leader, a half length. Sass Appeal second. 2 lengths Lathlane the outside, followed by Exit. A length and a half Naragi. Salty Pearl outside of After Summer, and Seychelles is last. 9.50 out. Pillow Fight the leader at an even speed by a half length to Sass Appeal, who's not able to dictate today. A length and a half to Exit third, followed by Lathlane. Then came Naragi, who's pulling. It's keen to go, so it presses out 3 wide. After Summer behind them on the fence, and then came Salty Pearl, who has the back of Naragi and Seychelles between them last. 600 metres to go. Pillow Fight for Hugh Bowman, 3/4 of a length in front of Sass Appeal. Then came the Bolter, Naragi the outside. Let's Stride. Exit behind those, and they were followed by, as they run the home corner, Lathlane from After Summer, and Salty Pearl brought to the outer. 350 to go. Pillow Fight giving a bit of resistance, but Sass Appeal now let go and took the front. Sass Appeal draws a length. Pillow Fight a gap. Exit Salty Pearl. Then came Naragi, but it's Sass Appeal with 100 metres to go. She draws on. She's 2 lengths in front. She's almost 3 lengths in front. And Sass Appeal too good. Pillow Fight second. Salty Pearl third. Then Exit Naragi. After Summer, Seychelles, and Lathlane lasts.
Well, Richo, she was in the perfect spot, and Lizzie, wasn't she? I mean, not much...
That was her 5th run in her first preparation. She's won 4 of 5, and that was, Lizzie, that was her best win.
That was absolutely incredible.
Was the CUNY. This is a Group 2, and I think we've got a Group 1 winner in waiting who was successful. Sass Appeal. Daddy O'Brien's got a big rap on this girl. Made it 4 in a row. I love her racing style, Ollie. She puts herself up on the speed. She looks to be a horse that's got a pretty high cruising speed. She looks to do it very easily.
She does. She's got a bit of scope, a bit of length about her, this filly too. I like her. I was quite keen on her there yesterday. Everyone wanted to tip the grey horse there, and she was caught a little bit wide, had a tough run. But I like this filly. I think she's got a good future. I think Danny's going to said he's going to put her away now, but I think she's one to follow for the spring coming forward. I think she could probably get a little bit further if they want her as well, but she's got a good future.
Gee, the bookmakers let the punters on with her. When markets went up yesterday, 15, 20 minutes or so before the race, and it's 230, 240 on some of the boards, and they got right behind her, and the price tumbled in. I think most were working out the pattern at this point, and she was just going to land in there.
Near the rail and right on speed. The wind's having a factor here. But when we get to the Newmarket, down this famous straight into the headwind, I actually think out wide.
The last little while, and they've got another very exciting one on their hands here in Zambales, who ran so well in the Sportsbet Blue Diamond, and that form looks extremely strong now off the back of some races in Sydney. Zambales, $1.65, 3/4 of the overall hold here. In terms of some others that they are just specking at prices, a little bit of support for Refuse to Curtsy, the relation to Strip.
The Darley Sires, 1400s. And racing immediately, and Dr. Hook on the inside jumped away. Middle of the line and beginning well out wide in a gold with Grinzinger Heart and Expensive Taste is booting up. Dr. Hook got to 4th. Hydro Bomb has roused up to get to 5th. Zambales behind them. 3 lengths away, Refuse to Curtsy, Diameter, Euro Canto. And last of all in the race is Leopard Shark. Grinzinger Heart led the sires past the 1,000 marker by 3/4 of a length in a gold, and Dr. Hook is third on the inside, a little bit fizzed. About a length and a half away in the field, Expensive Taste getting a good run. 2.5 Hydro Bomb, followed by Zambales, tucked away 6th on the rails. 3 lengths away, Diameter, and then came along the inside, Refuse to Curtsy, who put in an awkward stride there and lost ground dramatically, passed by Leopard Shark, and Euro Canto whipped them in. Around the turn, 550 out, Grinzinger Heart is the leader from Inner Gold. Expensive Taste now sliding 3 wide, Dr. Hook behind them. Zambales extricating out, little brush into Hydro Bomb, but it's in clear air, followed by Diameter. 350 metres to go. Grinzinger Heart tried to clear kick from inner goal. Dr. Hook is getting through. Zambale's produced on the outside, is running on hard now at the clock tower. Grinzinger Hart giving resistance, joined by Zambale's. Grinzinger Hart and Zambale's, stride for stride. Grinzinger Hart and Zambale's. It's a terrific go to the post, but Grinzinger Hart kept fighting and just beat Zambale's. They were followed in third by Expensive Taste. Next to finish in the race, Diameter and Dr. Hook. Further back in the field, Hydro Bomb and Leopard Shark, Euro Canto. Well back refused to curtsy.
Well, Willow continues this great run, but Lizzie, how big is this for Ben Brisbane? This is just enormous, isn't it? I mean, what a day out to win the Group 2. And the favourite, well, Mark pushed out hard. He had his chance.
He certainly did. Wow, that was such an epic performance there from Grinzinger Hart, and showed all harding it when Mark asked him to come out. He pushed out Hydro.
What happened in the size produce. Well done to Ben Brisbane, the biggest win of his career on a big day. And again, in front, on speed, wins, Ollie.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the depth of this race, but Willow really grabbed the bull by the horns here, putting it into the race, up on pace. You can see the Godolphin horse, Mark Zara, just had to push out to get out here. He just lost a bit of momentum, this horse, when he had to come out there. He was probably a little bit of the hard luck story of the race, but just not quite sure about the depth of this race. But a great effort by the Ben Brisbane stable to get a nice winner on a big day.
He's a big galumph, isn't he, that runner-up? He takes some winding up to get into his action, but he's very strong late.
I thought he was going to get him here.
Oh, so did I, Michael. I was in the midst of a punting rampage at this point, and it was all road Zambales, but well done to Ben Brisbane and the team. They went off in...
And Gates are back and they're racing in the All-Star Mile.
It's always been a fantastic race.
What dreams are made of? Mystic Journeys won the All-Star Mile.
One thing that I love about the All-Star Mile is the owner-ambassador element to it.
They'll bring the house down if the pride of Australian racing is to be successful. So all those stories and plenty more to come. Matt Nevitt, Matt, how short is she?
Well, Bruce, in fact, she's $2.30, 22 cents worth of deductions here because there have been those two key scratchings with Treasure the Moment and Buckaroo, but she's got around half of the overall hold here, 230 in from 420. Tom Kitten there going for back-to-back victories on the second line of betting scene. Good, strong support as well, $3.90. Steffi Magnetica, a Doncaster winner from last year, is at $7. Evaporate, $12. Like Galusi was a real flashing light last start, $15. And Antino started $3.80 in a Cox plate. Can he bounce back? Drawn barrier one with Jamie Mellon.
And they're racing. Watch Me Rock from the centre, second last to leave, Antino last to leave. Pride of Jenny jumped well with Evaporate. Tom Kitten, Steffi Magnetica, there's four in line. They were followed by Stapati, who's going to drift back out deeper. Next in the field, Sabaj, Watch Me Rock, Like a Lucy, Antino. So Pride of Jenny held the rails and the lead, 1,200 metres to go, 3/4 of a length Evaporate, and then Tom Kitten, two off the front outside of Steffi Magnetica. A length away in the field, Stapati on a limb for the trip, and then Watch Me Rock, Sabaj. Two further back is Like a Lucy and last Antino. So 1,000 metres to go. And the portion of the race where Jenny likes to start to dial it up, and Pride of Jenny now 2 lengths in front of Evaporate and quickens it. Tom Kitten third outside of Steffi Magnetica. Stapati doing it the hard way. Watch Me Rock between them. Sabaj the fence, then Like a Lucy. And last of all is Antino. So it's Pride of Jenny coming up towards the home corner. 650 metres to go. Attempts to pound them into the turf and led by 3 lengths Evaporate. Tom Kitten. Then came Steffi Magnetica on the fence from Stapati. Well back, Watch Me Rock, Sabaj, Like a Lucy, Antino. He calls for Pride of Jenny in the straight at the 400 metres. 2 lengths Evaporate and Tom Kitten giving chase. Pride of Jenny coming back to them, joined and almost headed by Evaporate, with Tom Kitten making a line of 3 at the 200 metres. He pushes the button on Tom Kitten. Evaporate going with it, then Stapati. It's Tom Kitten with Evaporate, then Pride of Jenny. Tom Kitten just in front. Tom Kitten's going to be the first dual winner. Tom Kitten has won it from Evaporate. Pride of Jenny and Sabaj in a photo. Behind those, Stapati, Like a Lucy. A gap to Steffi Magnetica. And last over the line, bar one, Antino. A long last, Watch Me Rock.
Oh, what a great race. It was such a battle all the way up the famous Flemington Straight. He always looked the winner, Richo. You always wanted to be on him from the 300. Jenny was all out. She just kept digging. Evaporate was enormous. Willow gets 89 Groups 1s, his first All-Star. And Tom, well, he's top cat. He's the first to win 2 All-Star miles.
Absolutely beautifully described, Bruce. And what Craig Williams was able to do there, Lizzie, was hold, ask him for one effort. He strolled up, he probably waited maybe 4 seconds, 3 seconds more than most would have. It was a brilliant ride.
Oh, beautiful ride. He is just poetry in motion, Craig Williams. Look at the smile on Sam Friedman's face. He's going to join us in a moment. We saw you with a big smile on your face as Willow loomed up outside Evaporate.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was sitting a little too pretty for a while, but he knew what he had underneath him. He's perfect, this horse, this prep. He's just come back in such good order, and Willow's building a really good rapport. It probably wasn't the initial plan, but, you know, that's why they're the best, those riders. They just, he thought on his feet, the horse began well, he put him up there, and, you know, that's the first time he's been ridden in a positive position for a while, and I think if we'd gone back, which was the initial plan, you know, he gets beat, so it's a big difference.
800 metres out.
Been a great horse for Godolphin. Tom Kitten, he wins another Group 1, his second All-Star mile. He's now won in excess of $7.5 million in prize money. A really good 2-year-old.
So clearly, as the day went on, it became evident that the rail and hard up against the fence were the advantage to be there. So I think in the end, where he got close enough was probably the winning move. So all credit to Craig, really.
Yeah, so Andy, Craig didn't take the bull by his own horns and just put him into the race, because I saw that social media footage, and it seemed that Sam wanted him to ridden quiet and ridden back for luck, and, you know, he was put right into the race. Obviously, that suited him the way the track was playing there yesterday.
Yeah, no, the idea was to go. The view was there'd be a fair bit of speed with Pride of Jenny and Evaporate, and didn't really want to. Sam's view was don't light him up and be there, because he might be vulnerable late. But as we said, the final instruction was, well, you just ride the horse. Don't worry about Pride of Jenny. Don't worry about Evaporate. Don't worry about anyone. Just ride the horse. And where you settle, you settle, and hopefully you're good enough.
Big ones out of the Australian Cup. What do you make of Pride of Jenny? She was tough, gutsy, but the way the track was playing, suited on speed.
Possibly in hindsight, having looked at the entire meeting and knowing that it was, you know, a leader's paradise, really. I don't know if disappointing's the right word, Ollie, but maybe would have expected her to kick a little harder. But in saying that, Evaporate never really let her get too far away, and Tom Kitten being so close and being such a tough chaser.
Yeah, what concerned me a little bit, I had a look at her trial, and I didn't think she showed the same enthusiasm and want to really break open a field, and she showed that again there yesterday, which she has done in the past. She's an 8-year-old mare now. Eventually, time catches up with us all, and I'm just a little bit concerned on a leader's track there. She wasn't able to break them up and get away. She fought on bravely, but she just didn't show that enthusiasm to want to break up the field, and, you know, I'm not sure that was the strongest All-Star mile, and she just couldn't break them up and get away from them on a track that really suited the leaders there yesterday.
When you lose treasure at the moment at Buckaroo before the race, a fair bit of depth comes out. Evaporate was good.
Savage was very good. From a Doncaster point of view, he was an excellent run. Doncaster's always a great race, but, gee, some depth to it this year.
We'll play a couple of the jockey...
Breathtaking. He went to a different level when he went to the Lightning, but he's got 57 kilos. The comeback king, his favourite guy. And, well, this is what's at stake. So Ajax carrying 57 to win the Newmarket. 10 Tyrus, it's a huge task. You think about weekend...
Lightning, we've looked forward to seeing him here in this Newmarket handicap, and he does have to carry the big weight for a 3-year-old, but that has not stopped the Sportsbet punters from getting involved. He's a $2.10 favourite here, best backed clearly in the race as well. My Gladiola gets that weight swing on him from the Lightning, though. $4.80 on the second line of betting if you think she can turn the tables. Angel Capital, a fascinating runner for Chris Waller, comes down from Sydney at $12. Benedetta was very... And if there is a blowout in the race, it could be Seppels at $23 first up. The last time we saw him at the races, he ran second to Autumn Glow. But it's 10 Tyrus.
Tyrus do it in the time-honoured Newmarket.
Racing Peloton jumped away cleanly with also My Gladiola showing a bit of speed out deeper on the track. Gallant Sun and Benedetta also showing pace. Are they going to split here? It looks as though they are. Sepals, Angel Capital, Cabela's going to the flat side with GG's Miss Truth. And in two minds, some of these jockeys towards the outside division, led over by Sharippa, so they follow. Gallant Sun is in the top 6, and then War Machine, My Gladiola's behind horses. GG's Miss Truth, then Benedetta, Woderton, Tentyrus, De Bergerac and Disneck. So they're all on the flat side, 700 metres to go. Cabela's the leader by over a length, Sharippa. Then Gallant Sun, Angel Capital. Sepals in 5th place from War Machine. Next in the field, GG's Miss Truth and Peloton. My Gladiola just trying to get into the clear from Benedetta. Tentyrus is behind a wall at the moment, followed by Woderton. Approaching the 300, Cabela's in front. Gallant Sun at any old prices chasing. It's Cabela's about a length. Gallant Sun, Angel Capital, followed by Sepals. Tentyrus is out, but it might be too late. Cabela's, 100 metres to go. Gallant Sun is wearing it down. Gallant Sun coming at Cabela's. Cabela's is holding on. Cabela's won the Newmarket. Cabela's from Gallant Sun. Then Sepals in a photo with Angel Capital. Further back, Tentyrus, Benedetta. Next to finish, GG's Miss Truth from Peloton, War Machine, My Gladiola, De Bergerac, Sharippa and Disneck at the tail of the field.
Well, Richo and Lizzie, we talked about history. What about this Froggy? What about Froggy, the first ever to win this race, the 153rd running on 4 occasions. The other men that won 3, Harold Badge, Bjorn Baker continues 4. No one else has done it, and Bjorn Baker continues his incredible run. That's history, Richo.
Oh, absolutely. He defeats Pete Moody and Catherine Coleman with Gallant Sun there.
Nothing could get past him. You know why? Because he just made it a sit and sprint. It never gave anything back in the field any chance to work into the run. It was so...
Charging with his 57, he was enormous, wasn't he? It was a different type of Newmarket. I thought they were going to split Richo at first, didn't you? Wotan was all over.
The straight races, that is, but Froggy, I think he pinched it there in the Newmarket, just really dictated the race, and it was certainly on pace dominated the Newmarket.
Let's have a look at the... Froggy may come out to the centre, but it certainly changed.
Yeah, I was a bit unsure where Froggy would be, but he came over the inside. You could see Sharippa change his mind, come in, bring the rest of the field over with him. But you can even see Angel Capital, who's a horse that usually gets back off the pace. He's right up there, quite keen. And then Sharippa comes over, sits outside Cabela's. Froggy has a look there. He's got him right where he wants him, stacked up. No one's making a move. And you can see the key runners back in the field. My Gladiola, she's over racing a little bit. Tentyrus back behind him. Woderton outside and Benedetta as well. So you could see getting onto the course proper here, there's kind of about 6 lengths between the leaders and the main chances back in the field, and Froggy's just really dictating the race. And you'll see a key point as he comes to the course proper here. You can see he's had it so easy. He kicks for home and puts an extra 2 or 3 lengths on them, and these horses back in the field off this tempo just had no chance.
You know, I think if you're on Tentyrus, Sharky, you knew you were in a bit of strife halfway through the race, because we do often see, even though it's a Newmarket, these straight races can be run at a less higher tempo than normal sprint races.
Yeah, I think it was slightly surprising just how controlled it was early, and it became a sprint for home, and kudos to Craig Newitt. He rode a beautiful race on the winner. Tentyrus has run bravely, but simply too much ground to make up. And handicap, of course, so he's giving weight away. I thought he ran an admirable race, but I think we'll see him fire again back to weight for age.
We'll talk...
And do it like that, I thought was the right way, so it worked out beautifully.
We can excuse you for being a little hoarse today, Björn, and for those who haven't seen it, this is the reason why. There is no greater celebrator than Björn, especially when he's in Sydney watching Group 1 victories in Melbourne, and it was an elite performance yesterday.
Might be too late. Cabela's, 100 metres to go. Gallant Sun is wearing it down. Gallant Sun coming at Cabela's. Cabela's is holding on. Cabela's won the Newmarket. Cabela's is going down.
I never get sick of seeing that, Shark.
He had tremors going at one point there. That was like an out-of-body experience. I don't know. You got me up and about.
But Angel Capital kept going. Gallant Sun was huge. Goodwood looks a good race for him.
Yeah, I think you've got to be a bit forgiving of those horses back in the field, just the way the race was run. Angel Capital, there's a few options for him, whether they look at a race like the William Reid, there's the Quokka, even a race like the Goodwood in Adelaide could be a sort of suitable race, sort of maybe.
We'll report on him later as well. Yeah, she just got a bit fractious, so she's been checked over by the vets and they'll have another look after this as well, no doubt, behind the barriers. But she is our best-backed runner here with 35% of the money at 280, just out of touch, though, from 270. Second best-backed runner and second in the betting here is Cheyenne. She's been 420 into 330 and has 30% of the overall hold.
Set to run here in the Riesling Stakes. And they're racing, and a good line out. And the Agrarian Girl showing very good speed will lead from Potomac River, and Nadra away well straight to third, followed by Miss Chanel. Then came Cheyenne being restrained on the outside of Yvonne's Joy. Riccini taken back now from Miss Trump, and Legacelli is the last one. It's an easy lead for Agrarian Girl. She's charging along at the 800 from Potomac River. Nadra well positioned third, a length further back Miss Chanel. Then Yvonne's Joy. Cheyenne gets one off the fence, so she's a lot closer to the fence in the run today. Riccini right on her coattails from Miss Trump, and Legacelli the last one. Agrarian Girl, the well-supported favourite in front from Potomac River. Nadra stalks in third. Miss Chanel being reined along. Further back to Cheyenne pulling out. Agrarian Girl slipped two in front up the rise. Two in front now, but here comes Cheyenne down the outside, closing in. Potomac River's had enough. Then Miss Chanel and Riccini winding up. Agrarian Girl being tackled by Cheyenne the outside, and Cheyenne storms away with the Riesling Stakes. Had a much better run today, and Cheyenne wins it by a big space. Agrarian Girl second. Third position was Miss Chanel. Not sure about fourth. Riccini deep out from Potomac River. Nadra a bit disappointing there, didn't close off. Then Yvonne's Joy further back to Mick.
Wins this race for the third time, and Richo, you start to think, OK, Blue Diamond form, tick, 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 don't you? But also, no surprise, this is progressive, and she now puts herself right in the frame.
And no doubting that Blue Diamond form, and I would extend it just as...
At the two-year-old races in Sydney. Cheyenne, this Blue Diamond form keeps standing up, doesn't it, Ollie? J-Mac said, I want to get on this horse, and you can see why. She was really strong to the line here.
She was. Good run in the Diamond, like you said. They went quite quick in front here. The Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott horse out in front went a little bit quickly, and she was too strong for it late here.
Very, very good finale, and look, throws itself right into the mix now for the Golden Super too. Dominant win and soft through the line too. Blue Diamond form is the form for the two-year-olds.
This is slipper after that, don't you?
I would think so. They ran nearly a second quicker than the Colts, even though the Colts did hold up earlier. Not much difference. They're very similar time, the last 600 home, so that's a big positive.
Of the money, we haven't seen him since quite some time ago now. He's had a trial since, and that has piqued the punter's interest. So he has 35% of the overall money. He's just been a touch soft late, 260 to 270. Second line, we see Stretton Ruler, who's been 330 into 310, a good firm, and he has 30% of the money.
Again, clear. Sit now, racing. Paradoxium jumped really well in the centre, together with the other favourite, Stretton Ruler. Hedrick's away well into third, followed by Sarah Fox. Incognito improves, then Wolf Gap, Tornado Valley, and Nomadic's at the tail of the field. Paradoxium's going to lead, and Hedrick's with the blinkers on is right up there on the outside second. Stretton Ruler tugging along in third. Wolf Gap creeping up into fourth now on the rails. Inside Incognito, Sarah Fox out wide. Then Tornado Valley, and 2 lengths away to Nomadic. So Paradoxium at a controlled speed at the 600 from Hedrick's the outside. Stretton Ruler with cover on the outside of Wolf Gap, and Incognito cluttered up between runners. Coming around the turn, and Paradoxium travelling sweetly by a length on Hedrick's. 2 after Stretton Ruler, and Wolf Gap staying on the inside. Up the rise now, and Paradoxium still travelling, leads by a length and a half to Hedrick's under the pump. Stretton Ruler being called upon. Incognito to the outside, Wolf Gap between them, but Paradoxium's flying inside the 100 metres, sustained speed, and Sydney has some hope in the slipper. Paradoxium won it easily from Stretton Ruler. Wolf Gap third, followed by Incognito, Hedrick's, Tornado Valley, further back to Sarah Fox, and last in was Nomadic.
Well, Bjorn Baker's been pretty crook all week. He's going to smile now, Lizzie and Richard. That's, after the Wyong, he was going to be favourite for the Magic Millions. We know he didn't get there. that was what we were wanting to see, I reckon, Richo, don't you?
Oh, I totally agree.
As well, Paradoxium really stood up and is now the outright favourite for the Golden Slipper. And
Yeah, I hope so. And you talk about this game, you got to be resilient. It's character building, and he's just got a great constitution. So I think even to get to the race and run so well yesterday was absolutely fantastic. He looks to have got a fair bit of improvement going into the Rosehill race in 2 weeks. Mindful he didn't run any time yesterday, but I think that's actually probably a positive because I don't think it's going to bottom him out. And hopefully can
consult with the traders clearly before I made him my horse to watch, but he is one of my favourites. So the punters alike, he has 50% of the money. So our traders are going head to head with them. He hit 290 and he's into 260 now, but we are taking him on as our lay of the day. They question that form. Raging Force on the second line is a firm then, 390 into 360. Same with Marzu, who opened 11, is now 850. Generosity is at 9 and has stayed relatively solid.
Ready to go on the Challenge Stakes. Racing. Good line out. Marzu's jumped well. So did Mahuna the outside. Generosity's very handy. Giga Kick will park behind them with the Black Cloud easing back and Skybird improves. Together with In Flight, Modi Supreme taken back and Raging Force is back last of all. Marzu scoots to a big lead from Mahuna and Generosity third. Boy, the field is opening up here. 3 off to Skybird, followed by In Flight, then Giga Kick. Raging Force is being eased out of the race. The joint favourite is out of contention. Into the straight, Marzu shows the way. Mahuna in second, followed by Generosity. A big gap back to the rest. Giga Kick is still 8 lengths away. Marzu being tackled by Mahuna, and Generosity's chiming in. 3 off to Skybird, running on. 3 across the track. Generosity moves up to Mahuna. Mahuna in the middle. Generosity, great finish in the challenge. Bob of the heads. Oh, close one. Generosity and Mahuna, they're the two. Half head away, third Marzu. Giga Kick rattling home at the end. Further back to Skybird, In Flight, Modi Supreme, the Black Cloud. And
Giga Kick was very good late. Marzu hanging tough. Mahuna, the Golden Slipper winner. She's run super today. She was second on this day last year in the Riesling. Generosity there looks like she's got the bob. Look at Giga Kick closing, and that means Lizzie, that James McDonald has had 5 rides today and has had 4 wins.
Well, I tell you what, superla of a performance. She's always a lovely mare. That race completely changed complexion when Raging Force missed the start and was pulled out of the race. You could see Marzu up on...
When a Caulfield Guineas and a Randwick Guineas in the same season, and that's Autumn Boy as we look at the trophy. So it was the Canterbury Guineas in the old days. It was
the top 2 in the betting. So She's an Alibi has 45% overall, and she's the one who they've come for. But that gap is starting to narrow now. So She's an Alibi, as I just alluded to, is your favourite, and she sits on top there at 235, in from 240. With 30% of the money is Autumn Boy, but it is starting to build now. He's at 290, now 310 as I say that. Ninja has been an interesting firm, 550 into 5, then a gap to the rest. Attica 950 to 11.
Starter about to send the 3-year-olds off and does so. And She's an Alibi has jumped out fairly well. Dusty Bay towards the inside is the initial leader from Ninja. Autumn Boy on the improve together with She's an Alibi in a wideish position early. Providence just easing behind them. Attica goes forward. Attica's bursting through there and keeps She's an Alibi 3 wide in the early stages of the race. A couple further back to Rivellino, then Decorum and Green Spaces. Last of all, the long shot Dusty Bay leads and Ninja pounces on the spot outside the leader. Dusty Bay and neck in front to Ninja now. They're followed then by Providence, who's gained a very good position on the inside of Autumn Boy. Then came Attica and She's an Alibi parks up on the outside. So the favourites running 6 at this point. 2 lengths away to Decorum. Then came Rivellino and Green Spaces. Last of all, Dusty Bay at the 600. A length on Ninja. Then Providence. Autumn Boy 1 out, 1 back. Attica 3 back the fence. A half the outside to She's an Alibi. And Luke Nolan starting to stoke up the filly approaching the turn. Dusty Bay shows the way. Providence has had a good run. Coming off heels. Ninja just lost a bit of ground. field. Attica being stoked up on the fence. Autumn Boy and 2 further back to She's a Alibi, who's starting to wind up. Ninja moved up, hits the lead from Autumn Boy. She's a Alibi chiming in, and She's a Alibi got the upper hand from Autumn Boy. Then Ninja, Attica, Rivellino from further back, but the filly pins the ears back. What a performance. She's a Alibi, different class in the Guineas. Beat Autumn Boy, Attica third, Not Sure fourth, Rivellino, green space as Ninja got tired. Then Providence, Dusty Bay and Decorum was last in.
What a filly. She's an Alibi, Katie, had a horrible run in transit. Got 3 wide, they kept kicking up inside her, no blame at all to Luke Nolan, but he could not get her into the spot he wanted. She's overcome all of that, covered extra ground, and to be fair, thrashed the boys.
She's a freak, Richo. That is unbelievable. As you said, he couldn't find a spot. She began well, and they all kicked up, so that meant he had to keep dragging her back. She didn't like it at one point. She sort of flicked her head up. Then he had to find that balance. Once he found the balance, then she just put them away, didn't she? I mean, I'm lost for words. Autumn Boy was super, and
she came up and absolutely towed them. The Caulfield Cup winner, Caulfield Guineas winner, Autumn Boy second.
Yeah, I was a bit cautious about this filly. I wasn't quite sure she was beating the strength she was beating up on in Melbourne. She took on the best colts in Sydney. They had no favours in the run. They weren't letting Luke Nolan getting early. J-Mac kept him out, and then Adam Hieronymus kept him out, and he had a bit of a bumping duel with Attica trying to get in, and she just blew them away. That was a serious win.
2000th winner too for Luke Nolan, which is some achievement, and Peter Moody paying tribute to his great mate on social media last night, and rightfully so. They've had
Incredible. What do you reckon from where does she go next?
Look, we'll see how she comes through this. The plan always was to have a pretty light autumn because she had such a deep spring preparation. So her and I will be on the road back to Melbourne tomorrow morning. We'll take her home and see how she comes through it. I wouldn't be surprised if we put her away now and save her for the spring.
I had a chat to Moods this morning on the phone. He said, look, it's probably a little too long to give her a break between now and the Spring Carnival. Maybe a Vinery, maybe the Queen of the Turf could be one more run before they give her a break. 2,000 on her.
She's only got 49 in a Doncaster as well. He did say, I heard him say that he, you know, did he really want to pick a fight with Autumn Glow? But with 7.5 kilos off her, I wouldn't be frightened of Autumn Glow getting 7.5 kilos off her on that win.
This is quite bizarre. I mean, Chris is just the greatest trainer. So this is the race that he's really struggled with. Lots of thirds, 1 second, no wins, 26 runners. So today, surely...
Well, there's one there that certainly dominates, and that is none other than Jolie Star. It is one-way traffic. She's short on the world pool. She's got a stack of multis rolling into her, and over 70% of the money is invested here. So she's been $2.40 into $1.95. Her stablemate, Lady Shenandoah, has just been a touch soft, $4.60, hit 5, now $4.80. A Bivac has been at $9.50 to $10, then Linebacker has been $10 to $11. Yorkshire...
Ready for the Group 1 Canterbury Stakes. Ready, and they're off and racing. Nepotism was the last out of the gates, and jumping very sharply is Bivac. Bivac in front of Yorkshire, and Jolie Star away well straight to third, followed by NCAP on the rails. Napoleonic out 3 wide early, followed by Nepotism getting underneath Linebacker. Now Lady Shenandoah's a victim of the gate back in the field, racing wide and tugging along from Headley Grange. And Gringotts is the last one. So Bivac shows the way at the 800 metres. Yorkshire keeps it company the outside, and Jolie Star in a prime position. Third on the outside of NCAP. Napoleonic got in, one off the fence from Nepotism. Linebacker right behind. Lady Shenandoah has been heavily backed, is in a wide position as they come to the turn. So Bivac has had the lead on his own, turning for home, and got a length and a half clear from Yorkshire as they straighten. Jolie Star moves up on the outside, then came Napoleonic. 300 to go. Bivac the length in front of Yorkshire. Jolie Star, Napoleonic further back to Lady Shenandoah. It's Bivac trying to grip on Jolie Star. Moves large on the outside. Jolie Star moved up to Bivac. Jolie Star claims a 4th Group 1, running down Bivac. Not sure third. Lady Shenandoah. Headley Grange rocketing home. NCAP close up from Yorkshire. Linebacker. Napoleonic, Gringotts and Nepotism was last to finish.
What a day for James McDonald. It's hard not to get carried away with what J-Mac is doing today. 5 wins for the day and runner-up in the other Group 1. A freak. So Chris Waller's run first, second, and I think he might have trained third as well, Katie. Has trained the trifecta in a Group 1 again. Headley Grange jumps out of his skin to run.
Closer, Ollie.
He is, yes. He's in the nervous 90s, you might say. He's about to run over me. Just given a perfect run from a great draw here, and she was too good. Napoleonic, I thought, was a really good run as well. Baywalk back into a bit of form, but just with a perfect sit there. When she draws a gate, she can just make her own luck, and she was too good for them.
He's not far off you, but as he said yesterday post-race, there's only one goat.
She's a top horse herself, so take nothing away from the second horse. He was really brave.
Ollie's getting nervous. Well done.
I think, you know, we're a long way off, but there'll always be only one goat, and that's Damien Oliver.
Oh, how about that? Did you pay him?
I missed that. I couldn't hear. I had someone in my ear, sorry.
He said, no, there's only one goat, Damien Oliver.
Oh, nice compliment from J-Mac there. I'll have to look after him.
And she's heading to Royal Ascot. Perfect horse for Royal Ascot.
Fantastic, yeah. She's all class. She rightfully placed in races like that over there. Look forward to seeing her.
One Australian guinea. So she's around about that $2.70 mark. Kingswood at about $4.60. Pierre, who we know here in Australia at $6. Jaffe got her first Group 1 as a 6-year-old the other day.
Let's bring it on. Gates open. They're off in the Bone Crusher. First away, Kingswood towards the outside. Jaffe goes forward with Dr. Ascar. Pia is moving forward as well. So is Whiteack as they jockey for positions leaving the straight. Just easing back and behind them, the favourite Legato from Positivity, then Provence. The Odyssey, 2 lengths away. Legato patiently ridden on the outside of Positivity. Then Provence and the Odyssey, and still 2 lengths away. Tuxedo is last. To the 800 they go in the Group 1 Bone Crusher New Zealand Stakes. 9 lengths over the field. He's looking to make all the Aussie. Kingswood, he's won at Group 1 level on this track before. He led by 2, and he's starting to turn it up out in front. Whiteack is second, 2.5 away. Pia from Dr. Ascar. Jaffe, Legato, she's spotting this leader, 8 lengths, then followed by the Odyssey. Back with it also Positivity, Provence and Tuxedo last. Homeward bound, 3:50 to go. Kingswood the leader. Whiteack within striking distance. There's 3 lengths away, Jaffe. Legato starting to unwind in their final race, possibly in New Zealand. She's coming after them at the 200. Kingswood, Whiteack, Legato's ranged up on the outside. Legato, Whiteack, late run Tuxedo. Go girl, Legato! Legato's done it in her swan song. She's got a Group 1 at Ellerslie. Second over as they went across was Whiteack. Then came Tuxedo storming home. Then came Kingswood, who made it interesting. Followed further back by the Odyssey, Jaffe, with them also Dr. Ascar, Provence and Positivity, and Pia has come in a fair way behind them at the tail of the field.
Great call, George Simon. What a great race, guys. I mean, 101 Group 1s for O.B. Bossum, 16 for Bev and Ken Kelso, and this mare wins her 4th. She's a darling of New Zealand racing. The second horse probably should have won. He was enormous.
Among the horses engaged here, Braden Star is one of the key hopes. You've got Interpretation at a big price. So some horses that have done a lot of racing here in Australia heading across for the Auckland Cup. Your favourite, though, is number 3 in Rosso, to be ridden by Michael D at $5. So
Who sends them underway. Slow out was Trav, missed it as per usual. Get back to be a clear last from Nest Egg. Fongai Hu will settle back with Interpretation and Overdraft. First away, Final Return to lead out, followed by Adjuster Karen, and going forward also Just Charlie. That'd be followed out by GG, and then next on the inside the favourite Rosso will slot into about 5th position from Age of Sail. Out a bit deeper is Son of Sun as they work down to the 800 metres on their first occasion. Back midfield and 3 wide, Paradise Storm just overdoing at a leisurely rate by 1 length. From GG's move to second, here they come. Paradise Storm not happy with the lack of pace and is charging forward on the outside to inject some much needed speed into the race. 4th is Final Return, hasn't spent a penny in 4th position. Then came Just a Karen, Interpretation, Nest Egg, Trav, and last of all is Overdraft. 900 metres from home in the trackside Auckland Cup, and there is 12 lengths over the field. Just Charlie the leader right there as they come towards the corner. Paradise Storm, now Final Return's got away away from the rail and is starting to apply pressure, followed by a Son of Sun, wider out Age of Sail. 3 lengths away then to GG from Rosso, followed further back by Marajan. Then came Just a Karen, further back is Manzor Blue away from the rail. Braden Stars further away, homeward bound in the Auckland Cup, and the leader Just Charlie from Paradise Storm. 2 lengths away, Final Return, out wider than Age of Sail, running on from Son of Sun, and then GG, and behind the Manzor Blue, but Paradise Storm has charged away, put 5 lengths on them, and has put them to bed. The Aussies going to absolutely romp home here. Paradise Storm, Manzor Blue moves to second, third will be Age of Sail, followed in 4th position, photos between Final Return and with it also Trav, and then came GG, followed further back by Just Charlie, Braden Star, Marajan and Turbo Win.
The Auckland Cup is heading to Ballarat. Henry Dwyer takes out the feature with Paradise Storm, who has smashed them in the 3,200-metre Group 2 under the guidance of Joe Doyle, who poses for the photo. Bit of a fist pump.
Career was a big run there. Not as big as this, though. How about this win by Paradise Storm for Henry Dwyer in the Auckland Cup?
Well, this horse had been not treading water, but just around the mark in sort of benchmark grade staying races in Victoria. Savvy placement here by Henry Dwyer, identifying this race, whips it across to New Zealand, and have a look at the margin he puts on.
That's incredible.
It'll certainly help the horse with his rating to get into some better staying races, and no doubt they'll have eyes on certain 2-mile race at Flemington in November. Whether he's quite good enough for that, I'm not sure, but the group status victory of that will help his handicap.
Yeah, maybe even a Sydney Cup, because I think he doesn't mind the wet, that horse, so that could be something they could be looking at as well.
Yeah, New Zealand Derby.
It's the Blue Riband event. The Hong Kong Jockey Club World Pool New Zealand Derby. Let's bring it on. Gates open. They're off in the Derby. He jumped away well. That's Gold nearer the inside. Jinky's right there with Geneva. Going forward also out a bit deeper on the track, Taylor Square with Magic Carpet, and right there also Halo's Fire. Sweet Ice will look for cover just behind those from Lunar Man and Tulsa King in between runners. Then came Wigmore. Ariadne's going to posse up just in advance of it. Well back in the field, Autumn Glory, one of the favourites, is back 10 lengths. And the pacemaker is Magic Carpet. There's Sweet Ice going forward, made an early move and goes forward now to apply pressure. A long way from home. 2.5 away next, Taylor Square, Geneva and Jinky. Then 2.5 back next is Halo's Fire from Ariadne. No moves as yet. Followed round then by That's Goldie, spotting the leader 7 lengths. Wigmore came next from Tulsa King. 2 back Lunar Man. Autumn Glory would be 10 lengths off the leaders at the 800 metres. And then came Axel, followed by Towering Vision. Then Road to Paris, and last Yamato Satona. Expect the fireworks very shortly in the HKJC World Pool New Zealand Derby. And the leader is Sweet Ice, led by 2 from Magic Carpet. Halo's Fire's on the improve, so is That's Gold on the outside. Ariadne's away from the rail, and then came Geneva, Tulsa King, and Autumn Glory's on the prowl as well, out deeper. Homeward bound, 3:50 to go. Sweet Ice the leader. That's Gold is 2 lengths away but closing. Here's Autumn Glory down the outside, and stablemate Road to Paris coming with it. And behind them Geneva, then Wigmore and Yamato Satona at the 150 metres. It's now Autumn Glory tackled by Road to Paris on the outside. Geneva's coming after them. It's Road to Paris and Autumn Glory. Road to Paris. Roger James trains his 7th Derby winner. Road to Paris beat second over Autumn Glory. Third at the line as they went across was Geneva a run, and Wigmore likewise. In behind those next close up we had Sweet Ice, Towering Vision, Yamato Satona, Halo's Fire. Then That's Gold, followed over by...
Let's go live to Ellerslie for the $4 million Kiwi. Well written, unbeaten here. She's in the Yulong colours. She's going to be about $1.25. Let's see if she can continue her spruik. And Lizzie and Richo, I reckon if she wins today, she's the Golden Eagle favourite this far out.
Gates are back, they're racing in the NZB Kiwi. She hopped away well written, but going forward Zavu. There's a few that are keen to get on the speed as well, including Affirmative Action, and Convinced is there as well. Followed out next by La Dorada's up in that neighbourhood too. Then 2 lengths away and behind them Legla Noir caught out on a limb. Followed round by War Princess, and then came back over on the inside Panther. 2 lengths away then Romanov, well back as He Who Dares. That's a bit of a surprise at the 1,000. Followed followed by Lollapalooza, 800 metres from home, and the pacemaker here is Convinced from Affirmative Action, the outside, a length and a half, Savu, well written, she's in a beautiful spot, fourth one out, 2 lengths away, and behind them next is La Dorada, followed round by Panther, locked away on the inside, looking to get out from Legla Noir, War Princess, then He Who Dares, Romanov, Lola Polinsky is well back in the field here, as back with it also as of Cura, and Belle Chevelle's a long way off them with To Bravery Born, 300 metres to go, she's made the lead, well written, she made the lead and went clear by 3, He Who Dares is out after her, as the Cura's putting in a huge run out wide, and Belle Chevelle's running on, it's well written in front, Belle Chevelle's going to get very close, well written needs the post, Belle Chevelle's lunging, they had it, oh gee that's very close, Belle Chevelle's had an almighty lunge right on the line with well written, third over we've got He Who Dares, and right with them also was Azakura, a huge run from it, then followed over by Legla Noir, Lollapalooza. Romanov was next, followed over by...
We have had a protest in the New Zealand. She's won, so she remains unbeaten, Richo and Lizzie. She's beaten the second favourite by a nostril. She got so tired. I don't think she's in... Oh boy, have we seen some racing today, guys.
Oh, that head-on will be fascinating, but also... It's as though Lizzie...
All waiting and hoping to see another demolition job by Well Written in the $4 million NZB Kiwi. She got there. She had to survive a protest, Ollie, but if you took the shorts, it was heart-in-your-mouth stuff.
You would have been very nervous, wouldn't you? I'd be a little bit forgiving here. She's deep into a preparation here, and I did see some footage of her in the week. During the week. There's not a lot of her. She's a lightly framed filly, so I think she's going to come back probably a bit bigger and stronger next time too.
I reckon the runner-up gets in front of her, actually. And the head goes down, then the head comes back up on the line. You'll see it just about... Oh, boy, it's very close, isn't it? And she shifts, and that's where the protest was, just that last sort of 150 metres where Well Written's tiring and she just shifts out a little bit. But maintains her record. You'd think it'd be paddock time now, and hopefully next prep we get to see her in Australia.
Yeah. Now time for the feature of the afternoon, the Group 2 Adelaide Cup.
Stuck into the Group 2 Adelaide Cup over the 2 miles, and Berkeley Square comes off that fantastic win at Flemington, but this is his first go beyond 2,600 metres, and he's got to carry the weight. That's going to be the knock against 13 into 13 into 11. So Berkeley Square and Highland Bling co-favourites, but Dictionary the best backed at a price here in the Sportsbet Adelaide.
They're ready. Set to the 18 of them. We're underway. Oh, Berkeley Square's come out last. About 8 lengths behind them. Hold on to your tickets, the favourite. Berkeley Square stayed in the gates in a sensation early on. So we've got speed from Hurry Curry in the early part, and Kamachi and Newfoundland's going forward as well. It's going to be Kamachi leading Newfoundland, Kirkliston Blue and deep out Highland Bling going forward. It's moving up around the outside. 5th placing then was Hurry Curry as they're making their way towards the home straight on this occasion. Tactics by Lucy Fiora on Kamachi. All of a sudden, the lead is about 7 lengths now as they run out to the 1,800 metre mark. Kamachi looking to give Will Clarkin back-to-back cups, led by 7 lengths. Highland Bling is second. Third on the outside, back in the field came Crimson Vine. Around the outside then of American Wolf. Further back in the field then came Hustler War. Berkeley Square, who blew it at the start, is beyond midfield. Eventually in Sabre Athena the next pair. Urban Outlook is back in third, last from Alenia. And Samuel Langhorne must be at least 15 off the leader in last position. All of a sudden, that lead of 7 lengths is only 4. Kamachi is the leader. 1,000 metres to go in the Adelaide Cup. Such in second, Highland Bling. Sentimental Flame, Newfoundland is starting to move into it. Then came Chance Taken. Kirkliston Blue, the runs are coming thick and fast now. Then came behind those American Wolf getting into the clear from Zibulon. Crimson Vine out wider. Dictionary eventually hooks the widest of them all. The new leader now, Highland Bling. Lockie Neindorf has gone for home. 600 metres to go. Race changing complexion. Kirkliston Blue went to second. Hurry Curry's running on. Crimson Vine out very wide, is running on out very deep on the track. It's Highland Bling, the leader. They turn here. It's a length in front now. Getting after it now, American Wolf the outside. Further back was Hurry Curry. It's American Wolf now going up to join the leader, which is Highland Bling. American Wolf and Highland Bling are going to settle down to fight out the Adelaide Cup. American Wolf and Highland Bling. Highland Bling's coming back for Lockie. Highland Bling, American Wolf. What a finish! My goodness, what a finish! Terrific go. Highland Bling or American Wolf, I'm not sure. Third is either Crimson Vine. Hurry Curry was there with Crimson Vine for the minor end from Zebulon. Berkeley Square, Hustler the War. Further back in the field came Dictionary. Now, American Wolf has lost the rider here past the line. Then Kirkliston Blue, Chance Taken. Eventually, Alenia, Sabre Athena.
Brian, look at that. Jet Stanley on 13, American Wolf, which has won the Cup. Has dumped Jet Stanley. The horse is now on the loose in front of the main grandstand here, John. What a clash between American Wolf and the runner-up Highland Bling. And American Wolf has won narrowly here for Jet Stanley, Trent Busselton and Natalie Young.
What a thrill for Jet Stanley. We talked pre-race that the 2 mile Highland Bling looked certain to be beaten 200 out, but he has rallied very strongly underneath Lockie Neindorf. He's only missed by a bob of the head. They've come right away from the third horse, Hurry Curry, who was...
By the way, American Wolf and Jet Stanley. I've never seen a winning jockey come back like this, John.
This is absolutely amazing. This race has had everything from start to finish. We saw the...
Ticks everywhere, if you don't mind.
Not bad, hey? Not bad at all. Birdman, he's been brilliant, hasn't he?
So Buckaroo is at the top and clearly the best back runner. 4 times as many bets on Buckaroo as there are on anything else in this race, and around 3/5 of the overall hold. Birdman there on the second line has been really excellent this campaign over those shorter trips. $3.70 into $3.40. Light Infantryman is the third of those.
Intriguing race, the Group 2, Peter Young. Fielders set. There they go. Light Infantryman away steadily. Whiskey on the Hill jumped away well. Light Infantryman is going to boot up and lead the race early. Buckaroo and Birdman behind those horses, and they were followed by Bankers Linner to the side of the course through the 1,000 marker, and it's Light Infantryman into a rhythm by a length and a quarter. Second is Whiskey on the Hill, 2 lengths to Birdman. Third on the inside, and Buckaroo 3/4 of a length away, fourth off the fence. Banker's Choice 50 inside, followed by Apulia and a length and 3/4 Basilina. Light Infantryman approaches the 650 with Whiskey on the Hill, just pressing it now about a half length off it, just forcing the issue. They're a length and a half in front of Birdman on the rails, and then came Buckaroo just inching a little bit closer from Apulia, Banker's Choice, and under the Persuader is Basilina as they come around the home corner. They're off the rails, the entire herd up the middle. 400 metres to go. It's Light Infantryman, led from Birdman, who sidles up 3/4 of a length away. Buckaroo is joining in, and then Banker's Choice and Apulia. Light Infantryman approaching the 200, grabbed by Birdman. Birdman, hands and heels, went to the front. Apulia and Banker's Choice run on, but Birdman is clear, and Birdman wins it. Birdman, a soft victory in the end. Apulia, Banker's Choice, and then came Light Infantryman. A gap, Buckaroo, Whiskey on the Hill, and Basilina.
Oh, he's a proper horse now. He's really settled into Australia. He's
straight, and he proved way too good. He is a different horse this time around. He's confirmed that. Buckaroo very much disappointing. Maybe that setback last time from being scratched from the All-Star Mile wasn't great.
Product of Chris Waller and patience, isn't he? And he just, you know, he doesn't, every preparation, he doesn't push them.
Young Stakes, I should say. Now, this horse has come from nowhere to be one of the horses to beat in the Australian Cup. I was surprised with the ease of this win yesterday, Ollie. I know he's been well, but Buckaroo's come through this race with a bit of a throat issue. He won't go to the Australian Cup. Light Infantryman, I thought, was fair, not disgraced, but I don't know how he can turn the tables on Birdman in an Australian Cup.
Yeah, Birdman was the one you wanted to be on. Beautiful ride by Ben Mallam. He was just cruising through the field here, and this horse is really acclimatised and hit a purple patch of form this preparation, and he's got to be the one to beat in the Australian Cup, I think.
He was a high-spend import. He had some really good European form behind him, but they don't all just arrive in Australia and bolt in at the top level straight away, and he's one of those horses, a bit like Light Infantryman, I guess, that took a couple of preps to get into the rhythm of things. It's for me, he's the absolute top seed in the Australian Cup. Apulia was a great run there.
Yeah.
It's tracking
He's
well.
a good horse, Apulia. Everything he's been.
He's in the mix as well.
So Tom Kitten's the current favourite in the Australian Cup, but Ollie, you'd rather be on Birdman?
I think at 2,000, yeah. I think even the stable said that Tom Kitten, they probably prefer him a little bit at the mile. They were considering the Doncaster, but he's probably just not going to meet horses so well at the weights in that race, so they're going to tackle the Australian Cup.
It's a winnable.
Hand up, so it's just one of those years where anything can happen.
One of the key runners is not
Magic Night. Well, Pembrey is all the rage. In fact, so much so, she is our third best-backed runner across the entire card behind 60s and Central Europe. She has 65% of the money invested here at 210 on top. Just out of touch there from $1.95 this morning. By choice, some money since 9 a.m, but only about 15% has been five.
Ready, clear! And they're racing. And Pembrey's jump well and has shown very good acceleration out of the gates and will lead from By Choice. Kieran Starr up to third in front of Lumbini. Hellenic Bell's pulling on the outside of Wave Blaster, Hardanger. Ecti Fires back last of all. So McDonald's quite happy to lead here on the Queensland filly Pembrey, and letting a fast filly be fast. Out by 2 on By Choice, who goes into an outright second. Kieran Starr's up on the outside of Lumbini, followed by Hellenic Bell is over racing on the outside of Wave Blaster. 2 after Hardanger, and Ecti Fire is the last one. Pembrey in front with By Choice ranging up on the outside 3/4 away. Lumbini getting a bit close to heels. Then Kieran Starr, Hellenic Bell as they straighten up. And Pembrey turns the corner by a length and a half to By Choice. Then came Lumbini. Kieran Starr's getting to the outside. 300 to go, and Pembrey a dominant leader. By 2 on Lumbini. By Choice, Kieran Starr further back to Wave Blaster. It's Pembrey going well inside the 150. Lumbini goes to second. Then Kieran Starr, By Choice fighting out third. But Pembrey, an all-the-way winner in the Magic Night. Won it by a length and a half to Lumbini. By Choice third, fending off Kieran Starr. Hardanger making ground. Further back to Wave Blaster, Ecti Fire and Hellenic Bell. The debutant filly was Too Keen and finished back last of all.
Onwards to the slipper. So James McDonald's going to have an interesting decision to make leading into the future. So will Tony Golan, so will the owners with Kiora. And Katie went to the front.
Made Ollie, in your mind, the picture for the Golden Slipper a bit clearer or not? Pembrey wins. Text Tony Golan this morning. He said all intentions are to pay the $150,000 late entry. She's won away into the slipper, and if she has a good week, she'll be running.
Yeah, well, she draws well. She's going to be in the mix, isn't she? It's a very open slipper this year. I think barrier draw is going to be really important, and she's one of the chances if she draws well.
Beautiful moving filly. We didn't see that action.
For the all-important Pago. Yeah, Katie, we might have to wait a little bit longer for our champers, but the market says there are 2 key hopes here. Of course, one of those is Central Europe, who is really well backed, one of our best backed runners across the program. 210 into even money, has 60% of the overall hold here. Then we have War Woven, who's just been a slight drifter now. 280 out to 3. Star of Jamaica has been a firm here. 10 into 5, and then it's a gap to
5. Gates are back now. They're off. Amazon missed the kick by a length or so. War Woven and Star of Jamaica won the start with Outspan Away well going to third. Amazon's improving on the rails in 4th position, followed by Euripides. Then came Forest King from High Alert. Central Europe is second last, and a gap to Persian Wonder. So Star of Jamaica shows the way, and War Woven's up on the speed second. Couple off to Amazon, railing through inside Outspan. They're followed then by back in the field to Forest King on the inside of Euripides. Central Europe travelling well, but third last on the outside of High Alert. 2 after Persian Wonder. Star of Jamaica doing his thing. Leads coming to the turn by 2. War Woven trucking along for Rachel King second. Then Outspan from Amazon, and Central Europe third last, pulling to the outside. Star of Jamaica being pressed now by War Woven on the outside, and the pair go stride for stride. Outspan third. Central Europe still 5 lengths away. War Woven getting the upper hand from Star of Jamaica. It's War Woven a half on Star of Jamaica. Central Europe looks to be running out of time. War Woven gets the upper hand clearly now inside the 50, and War Woven too good there in the Pago. Now second between Outspan and Central Europe. Pretty tight there for second, followed by Star of Jamaica. Then came High Alert, Persian Wonder here last.
Well, he's back. Is he back to his absolute best? That's to play out, but he's got a chance into the Golden Slipper. War Woven, the one-time War Woven. the one-time dominant favourite for the Magic Millions, sensationally scratched on race day. He has been rehabilitated. He's back in a big way. And Katie?
Outspan was great. Central Europe ticked the box for stepping up in trip, but Persian Wonder is the horse that I will be following onto the sires and the champagne. He's going to be cooking.
Paradoxium won last week, Warwoven this week. Same owners, same trainer, Rachel King on board Warwoven. Sharky, again, I think it's a situation of barriers. If this horse can draw a nice gate, it's got a definite winning hope in the slipper.
He just relaxes so well in running. He puts himself into good attacking positions up near the speed. He's got a little turn of foot there. He sustains it to the line and he does most things right. Whereas Central Europe, you could see him when he was let off the leash and asked to chase early in the straight, just wanted to sort of run about a bit, lugging a little bit on top of horses.
He raced keenly in the early stages too, Central Europe. He didn't get it right. We didn't see it in the early parts of that race, but he was over racing. So he's obviously a nice horse, but might have just come a bit too soon for him. The horse getting home out wide there, Persian Wonder, I liked his run from a more a sires, perhaps a champagne sort of run, getting out a little bit further. He's got one to keep an eye at.
Who would you have on?
Keep an eye at.
Who would you have on top of the two Bjorn Baker horses at this stage, Ollie? Warwoven or Paradoxium?
Oh, not a lot between them. You know, I think it's pretty, like I said, it's been pretty open all the way through. I think barrier draws are going to be so important.
Yeah, it will be.
A couple of horses running really well from back, so I think overall they've done a great job. The wind's picking up slightly, and the
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he was obviously a horse that had a great constitution. We know that the amount of victories.
He's all the rage here, into $1.55 now, our second best backed runner on the program. 70% of the money invested here, back from Victoria. In from $1.65, 60s was $1.90 on opening, and then it's a gap to the rest, so it is virtually one-way traffic. Shangri-La Boy, who went up 460.
What did you make of her last start performance? I know that Chris said
She
that...
was playing.
That
Gates are back and they're racing. Jumped really well, 60s wide out. Shangri-La Boy is there with Cellar Master and Wester Swindon as well. Top Reward quickly zipping through on the rails, then Silverado, Tom Vegas Federalist. Further back to Kill Brennan from Martius, and Panova's last of all. Well, they're not giving the favourite an easy lead here. There's still a line of 4. Shangri-La Boy with the head in front. 60's the widest of them. 60's continues to roll forward and now gets the spot outside Shangri-La Boy. Wester Swindon is the last one. 800 to go. Shangri-La Boy a length on 60's. They're dominant leaders. By 2.5 Wester Swindon, then Top Reward the fence. 2 further back to Cellar Master, and Silverado just been nudged a bit on the rails. Then came Federalist on the inside at Tom Vegas, Kill Brennan, Panova, and Martius is last of all. Shangri-La Boy comes around the turn, about a half in front to 60's. There's still a margin on Wester Swindon and Top Reward. 300 to go. Shangri-La Boy being tested by 60's now. Shangri-La Boy is under the pump here, and 60's moved up on the outside. Takes the lead. Silverado making some headway together with Federalist and Cellar Master. But 60's, the short price favourite, has broken clear in the far lap stakes and will beat the fast finishing Federalist. Cellar Master third, Silverado fourth, Panova making ground. Shangri-La Boy weakened out, followed by Martius together with Westers.
Short price favourite wins. 60's best bet of the day. Salutes for some good judges around. James McDonald a double. He teams up with Chris Waller. He gets another win. Chris wins the race, Katie, yet again, but this time not with a filly, but a really nice colt.
Yeah, he's...
Most favourite of the day, Ollie. $1.50 this got into. It looked his race in the Far Lap Stakes coming through the Australian Guineas, and he just proved too good in the end.
Yeah, he sat outside the lead in a pretty easy tempo sort of race. Look at Federalist hit the line here. You just got to take him to the Derby, surely, this horse. I mean, he didn't get there in the spring, but he's a horse that's just screaming out for a mile and a half for mine.
Yeah, back in the field too, Panova wasn't too bad finishing off there. Tempo was against it as well from where it settled. But, yeah, the pace dictated the result there with 60's in the right spot.
Waller's got an embarrassment of riches when it comes to a Doncaster, but his name's been thrown up as far as maybe a potential for the Donny. How do you think 60's would go?
Others preferred.
Really? OK.
He's going to get him pretty light, though. He'd have to be a chance. Yeah, he'd be down on the minimum with a lot of those 3-year-olds, but he's going to run into She's Alibi there on 40.
Yeah, I'd have her margin, like quite a margin ahead of him.
That was the big news during the week. Confirmation from Moody that she's an alibi goes. Jamie Mellon will ride at 49 kilos, given her a few weeks.
100 metres, Rosehill Gardens is looking a picture and fit for the task at hand. Because of the Coolmore Classic gone by, but also the contenders of today. Geez, it's a wide open race.
It sure is. Of course, we've got Verona Rose and Sinsol.
And it's a great betting race at that, Em. So it's $5 the field. Lazura is your favourite and best backed with 25% of the money, albeit it is wide open. So Savvy Halley on the second line has been 5 to 5.50. Second best backed is actually Verona Rose with 20%, who's been 7.50 into 7. Then you have Ole Dancer, who's been went up 8, was 10 this morning, now 13 to sit with Arctic Glamour. Firestorm also just getting a touch out, 13 to 16. Then we have Shahisha, $5 favourite at this stage, $5 the field. Imagine what you could be buying instead. What do you really get?
Set. And racing now. And Savvy Halley began very fast wide out. And Savvy's going to lead initially from Manal. Jenny the Fox being sent forward. And Sanso's right in the thick of the action as well. Arctic Glamour right behind them. Further back to Ole Dancer on the outside is Silla Cap. Then came Melody again, Lazura. Verona Rose. Vivier back on the fence from Yu Wang Shahisha. 2 lengths last of all is Firestorm. Savvy Halley got to the front at the 1,000. A length on Jenny the Fox. Sanso gets a great spot third. Followed by Arctic Glamour, who's positioned down on the inside of Manala. Then came Ole Dancer from Silla Cap. Lazura back in the field out wide. Followed by Melody again. Then came Verona Rose. Yu Wang 3 wide. Vivier being shuffled back from Shahisha and Firestorm. So it's Savvy Halley looking to make all in the Coolmore Classic. 600 to go. A length on Jenny the Fox. Sanso leaders back. Then came Manal. Ole Dancer wider out. Arctic Glamour, Silla Cap next to them. Then came Lazura, who's a long way off them as they turn. Savvy Halley swings in front. Sanso's at a terrific run and is the first to throw down the challenge. Savvy Halley in front of Sanso. Melody against creeping right up the inside and restricted room. Now Lazura starting to let down wide out. She's coming with a big run at Arctic Glamour through the middle. It's Lazura, Arctic Glamour, Melody again up the inside. Arctic Glamour and Lazura. Lazura won the Coolmore Classic. A half length to Arctic Glamour. Vivier charging home. Got up to run third in front of Melody again. Then Sanso from Manal and Silla Cap. Savvy Halley was next, followed by Shahisha, Verona Rose, Firestorm, Ole Dancer, Yu Wang and Jenny the Fox.
Simply unstoppable. You just cannot beat them. McDonald and Waller have done it again. 3rd year in a row they win this race. Chris wins it for the 4th year in a row. James McDonald moves within one of the greatest of all time in Damien Oliver. Lazura defeats Arctic Glamour. Vivier, Melody again. She defies the big weight. She carries 58 kilos. Emancipation and Sunline, the only 2 that have been able to do it with that big weight. Katie, congratulations to you and the family. That was some win to Lazura.
Yesterday, 4 years in a row, Chris Waller has won the Coolmore. J-Mac, Group 1 win, 128. Ollie?
Yeah, he's only a couple behind. I think he's a very short price favourite to knock me off next week with 5 Group 1s on at Rosehill. He had the perfect run in the race. Just tagged Ole Dancer 3 wide with cover, and she was too strong. But a good effort carrying 58 to win that race, giving a lot of weight away to some good fillies and mares there.
I'll tell you what, Vivier's come back really well and had a really good, consistent prep last time. First up into that race and really thumped the line. Just had to negotiate a few that were going up and down in one spot. She's a horse to follow from the race.
Well, J-Mac spoke yesterday on Channel.
When you saw Arctic Glamour flashing up on your right, what did you think? I mean, you got the best out of her today.
Oh, she tries. It wasn't me. It was her just really biting down on the mouth guard and having a really decent crack. And I thought she was all out on with 100 to go. It's just that will to find the line is something you just can't teach them. You can't train them. They just either got it. And we're lucky we've got a few mares like that, and the mares are so good because they just, when the tough gets going, they get going, you know. So super proud of her, super proud of for the connections and things.
They sure do. 128.
Long way to go.
That's really not, though. I mean, next weekend with 5 Group 1s, it could happen. I know it's not playing on your mind too much.
And not really. It's not. Hasn't really even come into my calculations, to be honest with you. If it gets there, it gets there. But it's a funny feeling because Ollie's so great, and it's I don't feel like I should be in that echelon just yet, but he's got a long way to go. And
he speaks so well. Ollie, be honest, how does this make you feel? It's a record that you probably haven't had the honour for long enough, and it's about to be overtaken.
Yeah, well, you've got to commend J-Mac to get that record at like 34. I mean, I was 51, I think, when I did it. So, you know, it just shows you how quick he's done it. But, you know, I kind of like... I get why he's saying, you know, he's not thinking about it. I'm sure it's in the back of his mind. But if you start thinking about that, then you're not actually thinking of what's right in front of you and winning these big races, which, I mean, he's got great rides in them all the way through coming up. So I think it's going to be knocked off pretty sooner rather than later, that's for sure.
Do records mean much?
At 3 all-aged, he was an absolute out-and-out champion.
Went on to a prolific career at stud as well, siring some big winners like Achilles. But
it is Enzuto, and I'll tell you why. It's because Militarize is our tab lay of the day. We're taking him on, so he is now on the second line of betting. Enzuto is the firm. Opened 11, 6 this morning, now 360. Militarize, even although he's best backed, he has 35% of the money, has been 360 out to 460. Globe, 480 out to 5, just a touch soft. Similarly with Lord Penman, open 360, 5, now 550. Crystal Clear has been a firm at odds, 850 into 7. Then it's a jump.
Ready to run in the Ajax Stakes. And by they're off and racing, and Militarize has jumped out pretty well off the inside. Globe was one of the last out. Sandpaper won the start from Crystal Clear. Then came Belado. Militarize is going to hold a forward spot inside Robusto. Globally stages War Eternal, who's down on the inside of Lord Penman. So Globe, this long run to the first corner, and Globe's been able to go from nearly last out of the gates and taken to the front by Berry. Out by 2 lengths on Sandpaper, and Belado goes to a clear third in front of Crystal Clear, then Robusto. Thunderlips out on a limb, and Militarize is drifting back a bit on the inside, followed by Portland, then Enzuto from Lord Penman. War Eternal last of all, 10 off the lead. Globe in front, first up today, by a length on Sandpaper of the 600. Then Crystal Clear from Belado. Militarize starting to creep closer now on the inside of Robusto. Thunderlips out deep. Further back to Enzuto, as well back on the fence as they straighten up. Globe travelling for Berry into the straight. Leads by a length on Sandpaper. Crystal Clear taking a rails run. Then came Belado. Militarize in the middle of the ruck. Further back to Robusto. Enzuto coming off heels a fair way from them. Plenty with a chance now. Crystal Clear went up on the inside of Sandpaper. Robusto starting to lengthen. Crystal Clear, Robusto. Crystal Clear, the inside of Robusto. They hit it. Crystal Clear just got there from Robusto. Photo for third, Enzuto flying from Sandpaper. Militarize missing a place. Then came Belado from Lord Penman. War Eternal. Globe got really tired. And Thunderlips to finish.
A really astute planning by Annabelle and Rob Archibald. Was also an acceptor and top weight in the benchmark 88 race number 10. They decide to have a crack at the big one for them, and that is a Group 2 Ajax Stakes, and Crystal Clear wins. And for Braith Knock, that's a huge achievement. Defeats Archibald team.
Yeah, it sure was, and he really put the writing on the wall last preparation when he was only beaten 3 lengths to Autumn Glow and just under that to Gringotts. So these are, you know, quality.
So, yeah, we've had a really good association with Braith and Group 1 Thoroughbreds who've been so loyal to us and given us some good opportunities. So fantastic for them.
Leg of the quarter, get your bets on. Number 1, Treasure of the Moment. She's the high-class mare. She's back to mare's grade, and she's expected to win this. She's your market mover. Race 7, number 1, get your bets on. Caulfield. Firstly,
see her bounce right back to her best. She was pretty good in the futurity, but there's been, you know, not plain sailing all the way.
Yeah, she looked, I'd hope.
And they're racing, and Treasure the Moment from the 1 alley, booted out of the gates really well with Chase Your Dreams, Astral Flame, and Philia from the deep, a bit urgent today. Then Suntora and Damascro's next on the rails. 2 down Discreet back in the field with Butternut Prince by a length and 3/4 Philia, and Treasure the Moment from Barrier 1 will sit in the box seat trail. A length and a half Chase Your Dreams, a length Damascro's, 3/4 Suntora, a length Butternut Princess, 2 down Discreet, 2 lengths on display, and last Benadryl. To the railway side, 1,000 metres to go. go. It's Astral Flame in front at an even tempo by a length and a quarter. Second is Philia and third is Treasure the Moment. Fourth is Chase Your Dreams. 2 lengths Damask Rose and Suntora. A length and 3/4 Butternut Princess in the red jacket on the fence from 2 down Discreet. 2 lengths away to On Display at the 700 metres, and Benazil whipped them in. The leader is Astral Flame. 3/4 of a length in front, being rated from Philia second. Treasure the Moment third on the rails. Then Chase Your Dreams. No change for now as Suntora now peels out 4 and 5 deep with Damask Rose and 2 down Discreet as the entire field are off the fence again. 2 lengths On Display. Butternut Princess tries to cut the corner, then Benazil. A beautiful run appeared for Treasure the Moment, and at the 300 metres she glides through. Hands and heels takes Astral Flame. They were followed by On Display, Damask Rose and Suntora the outside, but Treasure the Moment, 100 metres to go. She's such a sweet mover. She was weighted to win, and she comes away to win the Sunline by 2 lengths. Astral Flame, Suntora third, Philia then On Display. Next Damask Rose, Butternut Princess, Benazil, Chase Your Dreams and 2 down Discreet.
Gee, that's a big step forward, isn't it? To get back in the winners list, she had a spring that didn't quite work out. She was still placed in the Cox Plate after having colic. It was actually a great return in so many ways. First up, there was some question marks after the futurity. I know the opposition today, Lizzie, wasn't absolute Group 1, but she looked a Group 1 star, didn't she, by winning? She needs him, hasn't she?
Yeah, I mean, look, he made decisions when she had the colic to continue on. She ran, as you mentioned, a great move, coming back to fillies and mares grade, back to her own sex where she's going to be ultra competitive, and that's what she's...
Mares, good to see Treasure the Moment back. I think this was canny placement for Maddie Laurie yesterday, just dropping her back a grade, Sharky, and she showed that she has still got it, because a few had wanted to jump off.
I don't know about that. She's my favourite horse, this horse. I absolutely love her. You know, some horses just grab you for some reason, and she's not any flash odds when she goes around, but... God,
$1.75 was a gift in this race.
It was, yeah. Just love watching Treasure the Moment. And this was brilliant, watching her open up a field of mares here and go and win really well. She'll go back to Group 1 racing now, and hopefully she can get another one. Philly is a horse I want to follow into 2,000 metres. I think she's ready, Ollie.
Yeah, I think there'll be a few out of that race sweating where Autumn Glow goes, whether she doesn't go to the Queen of the Turf in Sydney, because that's probably
a big field if
next likely target for a lot of those. But good to see her get a kill.
What's wrong with these 5 metres, 5+ metres here? No jockey wants to go anywhere near this part of the track. They all want to come mid-track out. You know where that suits? Jimmy Star storming down the outside in the William Reid, our feature today. Treasure the...
Train another Group 1 winner in a different state today.
Simon Chris Waller can do anything. There are no bounds when it comes to Chris Waller.
Yeah, it's remarkable stuff there at Rose Hill, that is for sure. Working hard. Here we go. This is the feature now, the William Reid over 1,200 metres, and it's all about Jimmy Star. Now, you know he's going up to Sydney after this to win a TJ Smith and an all age if he can. He's the best horse in the race, and the market reflects that, over 65% of turnover. 235, 210. Jigsaw, can he win at weight for age against this lot? The market says he's the horse they have to run down. $8.50 into $6. Tropicus comes up off 50. Angel Capital's really firm at around that $10 mark. Nothing really...
Gates cleared. Racing. Ray Magnario gets the first call in the centre. Devil Knight began well, and Jigsaw, as expected, wider. Charmstone's also driving through along the rails. Jigsaw led from Charmstone, Devil Knight and Tropicus next on the inside at the 1,000. Then came Barraquil, Ray Magnario in the centre of the pack. Further back is Magic Time. Jimmy Star next on the inside of Benedetta from Angel Capital, and Airman is last. So it's Jigsaw in the middle of the course at the 700 metres, blazing the trail by a length and a quarter. Second is Charmstone, third Tropicus, followed by Devil Knight. A length and a quarter, Barraquil, then Magic Time, Ray Magnario, Jimmy Star 2/3 down from Angel Capital, Airman and Benedetta. Coming up to the turn, the leader is Jigsaw, just starts to dial it up steadily at the 400 metres, led by a length Charmstone and Tropicus under pressure. They were followed by Barraquil. Next in the field is Devil Knight, Magic Time. Jimmy Star's trying to thread its way through behind those. Jigsaw grabbed by Charmstone below the 200. Then Ray Magnario and Barraquil joining in. Jigsaw just in front of Charmstone. Devil Knight's coming, and over on the far side, flashing Angel Capital, but it's Jigsaw. Jigsaw lifts 6 in a row, and an Aussie Group 1 from Devil Knight, Angel Capital. Then a photo for fourth. Charmstone was there with Ray Magnario, who's run a massive race. Barraquil, Benedetta, Jimmy Star next, Tropicus behind those horses, and they were followed by Magic Time and Airman amongst the tail enders.
So, Cindy Alderson there, whose father Colin trained Sky Heights that Ollie rode to win a Caulfield Cup a fair few years ago, gets her first Group 1 in our country. She won the Group 1 with Jigsaw just a few weeks ago over in New Zealand, and Logan Bates was part of the ride there. What a remarkable turnaround in this horse. He's won 6 in a row. He's a double Group 1 winner.
Unbelievable. I'm so happy for Cindy Alderson. She absolutely... Richo, her favourite. You are definitely not her favourite. Richo's her favourite, unfortunately.
2, 4, 11 and 9. I can handle that. Here's Richo with Cindy looking for
Group 1 in Australia, and it's a special one.
I know, absolutely amazing. I mean, I didn't think he could keep going. They just gave it to him and he just fought and fought and fought.
We spoke last week about the most...
A first Australian Group 1 for Cindy Alderson and also Logan Bates. A lot of the discussion centred around Jimmy Starr. Barrier 1, Ollie, on the inside. People thought, oh, is this going to be to his detriment in the end? That's exactly how it proved, but I don't think anyone thought the Caulfield track would play the way it did yesterday.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's probably the 3rd week in a row we've had somewhat of a track bias. Flemington was a bit leaderish and they've been getting off the rail the last 2 meetings at Caulfield. Barrier 1, you know, it's probably, you're wondering, well, it's going to open up for him. He may be able to get out. He's not going to be locked up on the fence, but, you know, when you're fresh first up like that and you see daylight a little bit early, it's not always ideal. There didn't appear to be any excuses from him there, but he didn't run up to his best, obviously.
No, he was miles off his best, and it's quite an odd run from the horse, considering how well he's been going at the jump outs and how well the stable has been saying he's been working in his gallops. Putting the inside part of the track and being in the worst ground aside, that was lengths off what Jimmy Starr can do. He is grossly underperformed here, forgetting the track. You know, he's a much better horse than that. We didn't see it.
I had a chat to Jack Turnbull this morning. He said he's pulled up with 2 really big black eyes. Okay. A couple of clods of turf. Ollie, you would know better than us. How much does that impact a horse during run and can maybe mean that they perform below par? He said other than that, physically he's pulled up well and they will press onto the TJ.
It's not ideal. You saw Tropicus, who's the last start Oakley Plate winner too, with 58 odd kilos. He was disappointing on the inside part of the track there too. I'm sure they would have loved to have preferred to drawn out and be the one coming at them from wider out in those circumstances there yesterday.
Let's not take anything away from the winner though, because Jigsaw was sublime once again. And the man who has partnered him with so much success brilliantly, you had to do all the bullocking work out from the front. Did you think halfway up the straight you were going to hang on?
At the top of the straight, he gave it an unreal feel, and then he was probably starting to empty out at the furlong, and that's where he's grounded himself as well, as he just went to the wall and really pulled out whatever was left in him and held him at bay. And here's the one thing with him: when he is in front, he's pretty hard to get past. And he wasn't much left, but he gave it his all. And it's probably a mixed emotions, because I actually went and do a little bit of a salute, and because I was so far out, I got a little bit lost in myself, and then Angel Capital flashed and scared me. So
we can see that.
yeah. And actually watching the replay, I thought I'd got away with it without it, but it's a funny story, so I thought I'd voice it anyway. But it was.
Give us the market for the Alistair Clark.
Sometimes you can zig and sometimes you can... We've had 3 horses that have started in the red today at Caulfield. Now, get a good feeling, 1 race 4. Race 7 was Treasure of the Moment. Now we've got Planet Red. Have a look at him, $1.75, dominating turnover. Come on, the big red, says the market. Roulette King has had good support, though, $12 into 5. Look at this, has been a good shift of money. This horse is shooting for 4 on the trot, winning 2 times this preparation. Single choice. We'll get a 9.
Savvy Santa the slowest away, but that's not unusual. Amazaki away pretty well with Mr. Independent. Planet Red, there's a real wall of them. Also, Itazura's holding its place on the inside with Dad and Dave. Autumn Mystery's also putting itself in the picture, and KJ right around the outside. Hard to sort out an early leader in the Allen wider. A length and a half away in the field, then Savvy Santa on the inside. Well back in the field, settling down into stride is Roulette King. Now, Planet Red's wide and back, and Onavu Tonner's at the end of the field. field on top of the hill. 11.50 out. KJ took it up from Autumn Mystery. Itazura third. Mr. Independence fourth deeper, and then came Jonich fifth the rails from Dad and Dave. One Amazaki, then Single Choice. Savvy Santa picking up ground on the rails. Roulette King well back. Planet Red second, last 2 lengths on a Vuitton. 1,000 metres to go. The speed settled. KJ the leader, a length and a quarter. Second is Autumn Mystery. A length and a half away. Third on the inside is Itazura. Then Mr. Independent. Further back, Jonich. Further back on the outside then is Dad and Dave at the 700 metres from Amazaki. Coiled up now. Single Choice is 4 wide and sliding forward and gives Planet Red something to follow. Savvy Santa the inside from Roulette King and 2.5 on a Vuitton. KJ wound it up at the 500 metres. A length Autumn Mystery felt for. Then Itazura, Mr. Independent from Single Choice, who's still trying to round them. Savvy Santa's cut the corner and is getting up to about fourth now, third around the turn. It's KJ at the 250, about a length and a half. Savvy Santa, Itazura, wax on. Roulette King and Single Choice still come on the outside. Planet Red's going to finish closer to last, I think. Roulette King moves up with Savvy Santa at the 100. It's Roulette King and Savvy Santa. Roulette King gets its bib in front. Big win. Roulette King beats Savvy Santa and KJ. Then Amazaki 4. Single Choice behind those, followed next by Autumn Mystery, Mr. Independent. Planet Red beat, I reckon, 3 or 4 to the post. Jonich with Itazura, Onavuton and Dad and Dave.
So 9, 5 and 12. So the market mover from Simon gets the money, Roulette King. He's got a little cricket pitch going, or a little picket fence going, I should say. 4 in a row for Trevor Rogers. So this is a huge win for Trevor. Roulette King with it.
I think Hong Kong would be circling Chaka. This is a great story for a battling trainer, as in small numbers, who's got a really good horse now.
Yeah, absolutely. And just really, really well trained. I think Trevor Rogers said the whole time that this race was the grand final for the horse as he was progressing through lesser races and midweek races. This was the one that had a big circle around in the calendar. Look, he had an odds-on favourite in the race, or near enough to in Planet Red, but the market was very strong on this horse as the emerging talent coming through a more left field form line. Really strong finish. Savvy Santa at a big price, did kick really hard there. Roulette King was in for the fight, though. A terrific win.
All right, we're getting yelled at.
5 Group 1s from Rosehill Gardens coming up. And could J-Mac win on Eliana and draw level with Ollie? 15 minutes time. And his greatest fan, well, we caught up.
Lucky to find them, and and especially he couldn't do it without the support of Chris Waller and of course James Cummings, Danny Shulm, obviously the trainer of Romantic.
From 50 to 100, it took him 3.5 years. It's quite phenomenal. It's hard to believe. In a way, we know we have 76 Group 1 races here, and he's been prepared to travel, hasn't he, around the world?
Yeah, he should.
Reflects what you were discussing earlier, Bruce, declaring this a match race. The market has it as such. Aliana has been the more popular of the two. Sodelius is always quite popular, and they have really paired off. Will it play out that way come the race? Well, with a 5-horse field and naturally not as much speed you would suspect, it's hard to imagine the two of them are going to street away from the rest of them, especially with a horse like Lindemann and the other speed, Trinity College, drawn in 1 and 2 respectively.
Ready for the first of 5 Group 1s. The Rambit and the gates are back, they're off. And Lindemann, as usual, reliable out of the gates and jump with his head in front. Trinity College is going to sit very handy. Aliana goes to 3rd, Sodelius 4th. And Allow Cance with a change of ownership and colours at the moment is towards the rear of the field and towards the inside. So it's Lindemann in up on the inside going to 3rd, but she's not in a controlling role today, Allow Cance. A length further back to the hot favourite Aliana and 2 further back to Sir Delius, who's been very patiently ridden by Craig Williams at the rear of the field. They've got close to 1,200 metres to go, or well inside it now, and Lindemann in front by a length and a half to Trinity College. A neck back on the inside to Allow Cance. A length further back to the odds-on favourite Aliana, and 2 further back to the main danger, Sir Delius, who still sits about 2.5 at the rears of Aliana as they go inside the 800 metres. And it's Lindemann doing his thing, rolling in the lead. Lindemann by a length and a half to allow Canson, Trinity College. McDonald just biding his time at Aliana. Williams as well there on Sir Delius. They come up to the home corner now. And Lindemann in front by a length to Trinity College. Allow Cance under plenty of pressure. Now Aliana being stoked up, coming to the outside. And Sir Delius the widest into the straight. And Lindemann is giving a ton of cheek. 3:50 to go. Lindemann by 3. Now Aliana is starting to close in. And Sir Delius as well. It's Lindemann all out. And Aliana, this great mare, ranges up on the outside. 2 further back to Sir Delius has got the job. It's Aliana trying to beat off Lindemann. Aliana being lifted by McDonald. And he closes the first chapter on this historic day. Aliana, a narrow winner of the Rampart Stakes, edging out Lindemann and Sir Delius. A gap back to Trinity College and allow Cancer's last earner. And McDonald's done it.
He has, Darren. It was hard fought. Group 1 races are hard fought. It was a battle royale all the way up the straight.
Yeah.
Katie, your hubby's got level with Damien Oliver.
Yeah, it's extraordinary to even be in the same sentences talking about Damien Oliver, what a superstar jockey he was. But didn't Lindemann fight so hard? And Nasrullah, he just rated him beautifully in front. And she's just such a good mare, isn't it? I think she really deserves Lizzie.
She certainly did deserve that performance, and only her second Group 1. It's quite remarkable to think that she's only won 2 of them. She's raced against the very, very best that Sydney and Melbourne has to offer. She's been a bridesmaid to Autumn Glow most recently, but I tell you what, Lindemann...
Yesterday, as Darren Flindell said, he lifted the $1.50 favourite home. Punters who took the short spot have been sweating half up the straight. That Lindemann, he sticks on in these big races, doesn't he?
He's brave, but he just always tends to find one better in the big ones. But Aliana looked to have the perfect run there, drawn to get the perfect run, which she did. So Delius was very, very good there. I think he'll be peaking in the Queen Elizabeth, so I think there's improvement to come from him. But the big question is, where will Autumn Glow go?
Where would you run her?
I'd love to see her take on the challenge of She's Alibi in the Doncaster, given 7.5 kilos. I mean, we don't often see the top one 7.5 kilos. I mean, we don't often see the top ones take on the top ones these days. They tend to duck and weave a little bit. I'd love to see John Massara and Arrowfield take on the challenge.
Well, I text John Massara.
Some boy looking to do what his dad did, albeit he was on a streak of a couple in a row in the lead up to this, and his career actually culminated in the Rosehill Guineas. Autumn Boy favourite, but I reckon we might see a new favourite come jump time, because Observer, $2.40 to $2.30 is only 10 cents away at the moment. Our most likely horse to jump favourite, I'd say. Victoria's Spirit at $13. Or some are more forgiving than...
Entire stages of this race.
And James McDonald and Craig Williams are level this season on Group 1 wins. But J-Mac, if you just joined us, won the first of the Group 1s here on Aliana.
We're ready to go. The gates are back and they're off and racing. One step closer, taken back, and 5 of them have come out contesting the lead. Federalist, Observer, Bing Eye going up. Autumn Boy was there, but eases back to 4th. Victoria's Spirit caught a bit deep. Deal Done Fast goes along the rails into the course. Observer being restrained there by Williams, and hands up in second spot. Victoria's Spirit moves up on the outside, going to 3rd. Federalist 4th. And Autumn Boy is in a handy 5th position as the rain starts to fall for the first time today. Then Deal Done Fast on the inside of green spaces, and one step closer is last of all. 1,200 to go. Bing Eye in front by a length to Observer in a clear second. The Maiden Federalist 3rd. Victoria's Spirit covering ground in 4th position. Just keeping Autumn Boy in a bit of a pocket at this point. A length into Deal Done Fast on the inside of green spaces, and one step closer is last of all. So Bing Eye in the hands of Ben Mellon leads at the 900 metres by a length and a half to Observer. Victoria's Spirit the outside. Federalist the fence. Then Autumn Boy still in 5th. Then came Deal Done Fast from green spaces, and one step closer, peeling 3 wide to start a run. Approaching the turn, and Bing Eye leads the way by a length and a half to Observer. Then Federalist. Victoria's Spirit's got Autumn Boy in a pocket as one step closer moves up on the outside. Approaching the turn, Bing Eye, Observer, Victoria's Spirit one step closer, and Autumn Boy. McDonald's just eyeing off the gap, looking for it now. Bing Eye leads at the 300 100 metres. Observer stoked up by Williams giving chase. And McDonald said, go on, Autumn Boy. And Autumn Boy moved up at the 250. Put pay to Observer Bingeye. Further back then to Green Spaces running on. But it's Autumn Boy clearing the Rose Hill Guineas. This is a win that'll live forever for James McDonald. 130 Group 1 winners. And what a performance. Green Spaces second. I think Observer third. Then one step closer, Federalist. Further back to Bingeye. A gap to Deal done fast. And last end was Victoria's Spirit.
So, as Darren says, James McDonald rides his way into Australian racing, actually Australian sporting history. That's how big this is, and that's how great he is. It was a magnificent ride. All the precious...
Wonderful performance. The horse was just travelling so sweetly all the way through the middle stages of that race. You could see his main hope, Observer, was just overdoing it with his mouth open. He never settled when Bingeye came around him. But James, you were pretty nervous as well. I can see that he has now surpassed that ring.
It's beautiful. It is so beautiful, isn't it? And Chris Waller and James.
One fell swoop, a few things happen. This guy gets another Group 1. You break the George Moore TJ Smith partnership with James McDonald. He gets his 100th Australian Group 1 and becomes the greatest jockey of all time.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Doing it at our home track, and yeah, we haven't talked about it all week. Just, I rung him last night driving home and we spoke about the footy. He's a Mad Roosters supporter, and I jumped.
Building to this preparation, and the 2,000 metres, is that a hint for something in the spring?
Yeah, it is for sure. We wanted to try that. Great owners, the Richies, they're great sportsmen, and I think the most disappointing thing last preparation when I mentioned that he may have a short racing career because he's such a wonderful colt. And they said, oh, we're in no rush to retire and we want to keep him racing. So that's great, and it's good to see these colts race on, and I'm sure he will. So, yeah, we've ticked a box for 2,000 metres. His dad won it. He's won it. And, yeah, I'll pick out some nice races in the spring for him.
2 from 2 for you.
Very farming now, I think. But is it relief? How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's obviously... It's been a big build-up, but a very enjoyable one. I'm very humbled by all the support, all the kind words that have been said. But...
McDonald, 130 Group 1 winners, and what a performance. Green Spaces second, I think Observer third.
Yeah, captured beautifully by Darren Flindell, and it was an easy one. Greatest with us, we've got the current GOAT and the new GOAT, which is magnificent on the program this morning. Congratulations, J-Mac.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. It was obviously a wonderful day, and yeah, just special, obviously huge relief, and I suppose to receive so many well wishes, and especially getting that text from you, Ollie, and yeah, it's obviously a special moment, and something that we're proud of to be
quite early, relaxed, and you could see Observer pulling hard for the first half of the race there.
Yeah, that worked out pretty well, but yeah, to answer your question, it's yeah, the horses that obviously put you on a pedestal where you can take your riding to a new level and learn so much for them. And obviously Dundee will come along at a perfect time for us when we were trying to break into Australia. And like everyone knows, it only takes one to give you that confidence, and I keep stating that. And to do it on such a nice colt like Gordon Boy was pretty cool as well. And it was basically like the monkey off the back, and everyone can basically move on now. And they're probably getting sick of hearing the name and bloody talking about it. But I'm sure you're over it too, Ollie, to be fair. I'm feeling you in this situation.
Jane.
Michael Hawkes there. Ben, we come to you for the market for the George Ryder. No jockey's ever won 3 Group 1s on Golden Slipper Day. What price is J-Mac's horse here?
Yeah, $1.25, and I can't help but feel all of us are just loving these images. I'm not sure our traders are. With Aliana into Autumn Boy, and now I can only imagine Autumn Glow. The liability is enormous, and this is a horse that already across the spring in the Golden Eagle, that was the worst result in any individual race tab traders have ever had, and it's just continued. every run for Autumn Glow. It's been a bloodbath for them. Lady Shenandoah, $13. Pericles, $16. Gringotts at $21. Bayvarkt and Co. at
Of her Group 1s, of course, not a Group 1 officially, but it's a Group 1 field. It's an enormous record. I mean, it's perfect. She's missed perfection so far, isn't she?
It is a perfect record, and we're all looking and searching for that perfect.
The George Rider of 2026 and the gates are back. They're off and racing. Nepotism out the back. And Bayvarkt's jumped out pretty well together with Pericles. And right up there is Linebacker trying to hold a lot of them out. Autumn Glow in the thick of the action. This is a keen go. Yorkshire's right off the track. Further back to Headley Grange, Lady Shenandoah, Gringotts, then Attica, followed by Nepotism and Endcaps last of all. There's plenty happening up front going into the first turn, and Bayvarkt is really building up the revs, and Adam Hieronymus takes Bayvarkt to the front. Yorkshire will hand up now in second, taking the trail, followed by Evaporate third in front of Linebacker. Lady Shenandoah back on the inside of Autumn Glow. So the hot favourite is running midfield, one off the fence. Further back then to the 3-year-old Attica, parked on the inside at Gringotts. Further back then to Pericles from Nepotism, Headley Grange and Endcaps last of all. Bayvarkt leads by 2 lengths, 600 to go from Yorkshire. Then came Evaporate, Linebacker. Lady Shenandoah's locked up on the fence by the stablemate, and now Autumn Glow is peeling, and McDonald puts the champion mare into the race as they turn into the straight, and Bayvarkt leads the way by 3 on Yorkshire and Autumn Glow. She's really starting to cut loose now, and Autumn Glow in a bound moved up to take the lead away from Bayvarkt. Lady Shenandoah's running on well on the inside. Gringotts working into the clear, but Autumn Glow's broken away. 11 out of 11. Perfection. Absolutely flawless. Autumn Glow beats Gringotts, and third Pericles, followed by Lady Shenandoah. Further back to Bayvarkt, then came Headley Grange. Next in was Evaporate from Linebacker, Endcap, Yorkshire, and Nepotism last in.
She is remarkable, there's no question about that. She's now gone from potential champion to certainly a champion of the moment, and who knows where it might end up. 11 out of 11. She has spanked a really good field today, Lizzie, and she always seems to get herself into the right spot. Give J-Mac a tick for that as well, but give the filly a tick as well.
She is absolutely incredible to watch. He just was in second gear for the majority of that race.
Look at that shot,
and then
Lizzie.
he just absolutely kicked away. You could see how much he had underneath him.
Chips in a short time. So for Chris Waller, it's the second time that he's won 3 Group 1s on this day, the only trainer to have done it, and J-Mac the first jockey. Here's Emma with Chris after a sensational performance.
She's becoming a bit of a habit at doing this. 11 from 11 now, and she was eased down beautifully to the line. You could tell to James that one meant something.
Yeah, it did. I guess the last 2 was sort of pressure without without building ourselves up. We know what racing's about, we know what's going on, but to get that out of the way and then to deal with a champion the next race, it's pretty special. So yeah, I'm sure he got a good kick out of it.
So you just use the C word, champion.
Yeah, it's probably a bit light, but in my eyes she is. Yeah, I'm quality. Look, she just does everything so effortlessly. That'll help her get 2,000, but it'd be so good to get some feedback from James. So go and ask James.
All right, I'll do that.
This mare now, this 4-year-old mare, has won 11 races out of 11. Her third Group 1 plus a Golden Eagle, and they haven't nursed her. I mean, in her second start, she was into Stakes Company straight away.
They knew exactly what they had, and Katie's been talking about her for a very long time. James does.
There's not a horse that could come with her. It doesn't matter what is in the race. Impossible. And she's just got amazing sustained speed. It's quite incredible what we're witnessing, and because she's like the jockey's dream, and like you get nervous on horses, certain horses throughout your life, and she's.
Chris just used the word champion. He called her a champion.
Did he? Yeah, well, he knows what a champion looks like, and for him to say that, he doesn't take it lightly, and I'm sure she is, and he's a champion too.
Last time we spoke about her, you said she'd win the Queen Elizabeth. Is that where you want to head still?
I'm sick of bloody pointing where she goes.
He said to ask you what you reckon, a mile or 2,000?
I'll let him decide. John will decide, and we'll go from there. And it's special to witness people pin their eyeballs on her. I thought Animo was a big deal. This horse is taking it to a new level.
I love seeing you take her down to see the fam.
Professional manner, which is so important for myself, and to be able to keep those relationships going, because as you know, it's to be able to ride a horse like him, and then it just rolled on to be a Sustina and Voyage Bubble and then Romantic Warrior, and now probably the biggest of them all. I feel that she's gravitating in that way. It's a jockey.
You are, and that's probably why you're as successful as you are as well. Now, is that Romantic Warrior behind you, that painting? Because I think you might need to get the artist to start painting one of Autumn Glow as well.
No. I'm very superstitious, and obviously with he holds pride and place at our household, because he's just a phenomenal animal. But Autumn Glow's got a little bit to go before she has her painting up on the wall. I've got one over there of Animo, but we wait till they retire before hanging any pictures on the wall.
Well, Chris must have got swept up in the moment yesterday, because he called her a champion. And Chris doesn't get carried away like that. It was a champion performance yesterday. What feeling does she give you about where she could end up?
Yeah, well, she's well on her way, but to be fair, Michael, it's actually sort of scary. I don't say that lightly either, in terms of like what she does at home. You would just shake your head at it, and you can't help but smile. And she walks off the track like a Clydesdale, you know. I was watching her walk, and her demeanour's so good, but she is a jockey's dream. She's a bit like this fella behind me. You can put him anywhere. There's no riffraff to them. They just know their job straight away, and they can go on any types of surfaces, any distances. I'm sure she's not going to have a problem with, and she's just so adaptable. So
race at Rose Hill to match Royal Randwick. Let's put on a 2-year-old race that's very special. It's the best 2-year-old race, and now the richest 2-year-old race in the world. Back in 1957, the 70th running. There's a big build-up, Katie, and for the owners, the trial.
So nervous, and there's so much at stake. That's the thing, Bruce, because
this incredible golden slipper. Let's hear now from Michael Kent Jr.
Hello, how are you, mate?
All right.
Good.
The first wave of about 4 or 5 going really quick into that first bend. I don't want to be involved in that, because that could get the horse over racing. We'll be in the second wave, hopefully 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, around that area, 2, 3 wide with cover. Give him his room, because obviously probably a momentum horse, and we'll give you guys a good cheer.
And I just say go with him. Like, if he gets in a mood and wants to...
$50 now, actually, and earlier on this morning we had $7 the field. Cheyenne's still holding that position and has done pretty much since that last start performance. Streisand at $7.50, currently on the second line. Closer to free at $9, trimming in a point late. Fireball at $10 on J-Mac Day. Forget the slipper. Guest House, $10. Woven, $10. Spicy Miss, $11 into $10. Paradoxium is around the $14 mark. And Pembrey, I want to make mention of, $31 first bet today, $23 into 21, now $19. It's
6 golden slipper being run in light rain. Stand by. We're ready to go. The crowd ready to give them a big roar, and off they jump now, and the slipper and Paradoxian jump brilliantly wide out. Searching for the lead, closer to free, goes out with it, and Streisand's right there as well. They're followed by Spicy Miss, pushing through inside Music Time, and Pembrey couldn't get across. Pace is very strong in the early part. Fireball parks behind. War Woven 3 wide from Stratton Ruler, followed by Guest House. Cheyenne the outer. Hedrick's lost a length at that point, followed by Zambales, and back towards the rear of the field is Campion d'Italia, and up ahead of that is Chic as they travel to the turn, closer to free, really pushing on the outside of Streisand and Paradoxium deeper out. Then came Spicy Miss, Music Time, Pembrey, and War Woven as they straighten up, and the front runner now is closer to free, coming off the fence, going up the inside is Streisand from Paradoxium, Music Time, Spicy Miss. Guest House is running on behind them, just needs some clear running, going up the inside, Streisand, Music Time. Guest House bursting up the inside. Guest House moves up from Music Time. Streisand Guest House won the slipper. Guest House beat Streisand, Photo third, Music Time, and wide out Campione d'Italia. Then came Stretton Ruler from Fireball the inner. Hedrick, Spicy Mess, further back to Warwoven from Zambale, Cheyenne, Pembrey, Paradoxium from Incognito, then closer to Free and Sheiky.
Well, how about that? There's Mick Kent. We heard from him and Zach, didn't we, before the race? They talked about how it might play out. That's what it means. A colt by Home Affairs. That's the ripple effect. And Auntie Lizzie, the auntie of Zach Lloyd, who's ridden 3 today, it's not his first Group 1, but it is the big one.
It's the big one, that's right, and he's been riding so confidently. I didn't know who to cheer for at the concluding stages. I was like, go Chad, and then I saw Zach swooping up the inside. This is a special moment for him because I know James has won.
Look at him barge through.
Today,
Sorry, Lizzie. Look at this, Katie. Look, he goes inside. He just had the bargey, Archie, didn't he?
What a ride, and obviously what a big, strong colt Guest House is, and he did so well. I had the high-pressure speed, sensational win, and he loved every single moment of it. We see how hard these jockeys work, and this is the ultimate. This is the goal, winning these major races.
Incredible. So a Victorian trained horse wins for the first time in 15 runnings of the Golden Slipper. Here's Mick Kent Jr. He's with Emma.
Hey.
What a trading performance. What a colt, hey?
This is our Sydney guy. He's been very good. And, yeah, what a horse. He's had 3 runs where nothing went right. And with the good speed on, he finally relaxed. And Zach Lloyd, what can I say? He weird the pack, but the horse was so good. So good.
Ben, you've done a lot of...
Go on, Zach! Go on, Zach! Go on, Zach! Go on, Zach! Go on, Zach!
Outstanding. That is Michael Kent Jr. at Rosehill with Ben Elam, who is the Sydney foreman, just giving each other a bit of man love in the mounting yard. And why not, after watching their big boy Guest House win the Golden Slipper? Wouldn't want to have got stuck in between those two boys then.
Covered a bit of ground there. It was almost like a bit of a tango, wasn't it? It's sort of reminiscent of, what's that sport?
Congratulations, mate. You've had a few close throws at the stumps in a Cox Plate and the Golden Slipper, and you finally landed it yesterday.
Thanks very much, boys. Yeah, no, it was good, wasn't it? He's good colt, and, you know, we had to sort of just maintain a bit of confidence in him because he didn't have things go his way in the Blue Diamond or the Prelude. You know, we had to sort of peak him for the Blue Diamond, and then, you know, you got 4 weeks to the Slipper. So all you can do at the end of the day is read your horse. And, you know, he went to Sydney and I was up there with him and the 2 of them in Sydney. And that horse has just become just a little bit better.
Hey, you're a great mentor, obviously, with Ben and Junior, but Zach Lloyd here, I want to talk about this gutsy ride, as you said. You said he's a ballsy rider. I feel a bit sorry for Zach. His first Group 1, major Group 1, and probably all the talk's about J-Mac rightly. It should be about this boy as well. How do you see his potential, and why did you pick him, Mick, to ride him? Out of the Slipper, horses of, Campione d'Italia flew home, didn't it, out wide. Streisand, Clint McDonald's done a huge job with her. The Blue Diamond Form 1 and 2, I thought she was outstanding as well.
She was. I wonder how the chat was in the Mellum household with him going head and head in front last night in that race yesterday.
Yeah, closer to Free, just applying a bit of pressure. And
he just overdid it a bit, didn't he?
Look, watching the replay again, I thought Streisand was going to run 58th about 5 times during the straight.
Yeah.
But, you know, testament to her bravery and how professional she is. She just kept finding and just kept fighting, even when Guest House went past her. You can see Campione d'Italia coming out, just having his shoulder out and find some room before finishing off. You would expect Ollie Sires all over that horse.
Yeah, and Stretton Ruler was a nice run there too. Chad Schofield got a suspension out of this race yesterday. Yep. He caused some interference to the favourite Cheyenne and also the Godolphin horse Zambales as well.
And I think we've got a...
Shortly in the Galaxy. Speaking of Zach Lloyd, he's just won the Golden Slipper and the most sensational...
Is our favourite and a pretty well-supported one as well. Barriers have played a huge part in the racing today, and you can't help but feel unlucky for Briasa, who drew poorly in the race last year and probably cost Briasa the race, and is drawn 12 again at this time. $5 hedged at $8. Mahuna at $11. Has hovered around that price most of the day. Bridal Waltz at $12 and then Reserve Bank at $13 and Co at $15 or more, with old Marzu there, the Marvel as well. Before you have...
Let's go to Darren Flindell for his call of the 5th and final Group 1 from the Golden Slipper here at Rosehill Gardens in
5:19, the scratching time. Reserve Bank is out. Reserve Bank is out. The light's on. Stand by for a jump in the Galaxy. Oh, now there's another incident, and it's the favourite Afterburners.
And so I think we're going back. Are we going back to the... Are they all... Marzu's out behind the line.
And by... Off now in the Galaxy, away they go in. Rich was last out, and Straka jumped well together with Bridal Waltz moving up. Mahuna's right there together with Marzu, and they're followed by the Black Cloud on the inside of Hedge. Briasa's got work to do out wide, followed by In Flight. Then came in Rich from Infancy, Generosity. 2 lengths last of all is Jeddabil. Going on with the job, Marzu gets down to the rails to lead. From last year's slipper winner, Mahuna parked the outside. Hedge just pushing through on the rails, going to third on the inside of Straka. Bridal Waltz is the one out 3 wide. Briasa's on its back, followed by In Flight, the Black Cloud, the fence. Then came Generosity from Infancy and Richton Jeddabil. Marzu swings the corner in front by 2. On Hedged and Mahuna. Bridal Waltz wider out. Straka's going back towards the inside with the Black Cloud. Briasa's on the outside. He's starting to put in. It's Marzu under siege from Hedge. Then Mahuna. Bridal Waltz. Briasa's in for it out wide, and Generosity's very late. Briasa wide out. Marzu's fighting. Mahuna. Jeddabil, where to look? Mahuna, I think's won it. I think Mahuna. Jeddabil stormed through the middle. Marzu there. Briasa wide out, and Generosity. What a finish to the Galaxy. Hedged has only been beaten a neck. Then Bridal Waltz, followed by the Black Cloud. Further back to Straka from Enriched In Flight. And that's just about the end of the section. Jeddabil with them.
Oh, what a build-up to the race, and you can almost say that lightning does strike twice in the same place on a day like today. She wins the Golden Slipper last year, and today she comes back and gets a second Group 1 on the same day. And for K-Mac, that's huge, isn't it?
Oh, it's huge, and now he becomes the most successful jockey in the Galaxy. That's his 4th win in the race, and what a jockey he is. Of course, had some terrible luck, bad luck with injuries, and he's back, and to see her, the Golden Slipper winner, back and winning a Group 1 is massive. And what a finish, look at that. What a finish, look at that.
Incredible. So for Michael Friedman, this is a brilliant training performance. K-Mac, 86 Group 1 wins now, plus 3 Everest that didn't count at the time, 3 Melbourne Cups and all of that. Boy, Lizzie.
Marzu, I tell you what, he's made of the tough stuff.
And didn't the handicapper do well?
Handicapper was absolutely brilliant. Well, Emma's used to talking to her cousins and uncles on day like...
A+ for the handicapper in this race, Ollie. This was a great finish in the Galaxy. There was drama at the start. Zach Lloyd had a bit of a roller coaster day, didn't he? Because he was on the favourite Afterburners, which got scratched at the barrier. And Mahuna, gee, she loves Golden Slipper Day.
I can't believe she won. She looked like she was beaten 5 times up the straight there, but she stuck her head out on the line. Even old Marzu, he came again. Bridal Waltz was a great run, and Briasa was super off a wide run as well. So, but, you know, a great finish here. Probably only 2 lengths just covering most of the field here.
Oh, handicapper's delight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, he did pretty well be happy with that, the handicapper. Briasa was huge after covering ground.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be interesting to see. Jimmy Starr's going to go to the TJ as well. You'd think a few of these would be going to the TJ. Who's the #1 sprinter right now?
Well, Jimmy's coming off a poor run, so, you know, it's, if he's at his best, yeah, he's going to be right there. But, yeah, I don't know. I want to see how he comes through and see the field in front of me probably first.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It'd be interesting to see. Jimmy Starr's going to go to the TJ as well. You'd think a few of these would be going to the TJ. Who's the #1 sprinter right now?
Well, Jimmy's coming off a poor run, so, you know, it's, if he's at his best, yeah, he's going to be right there. But, yeah, I don't know. I want to see how he comes through and see the field in front of me probably first.
Yeah.